a QR app, then you can use the code as well. So I again request online colleagues, I hope you are able to see the screen. Just register yourself, put an innovative name. No, put your original name. It is difficult to identify.
Why not?
You have prepared.
Equally good.
So all these questions come from first session which Prem took, and we are kind to...
Gate growth session specially.
So let's wait for another 10 seconds or so. So audience in the hall, are you done? Are you ready with the code? Okay, great. Maybe 5 seconds more, just for the benefit of online colleagues.
Today I think they are very much prepared.
I mean, look at the amount of questions which I got. You know, the question bank is amazing. Thank you to Nilesh, thank you to Ratish, Lokesh and Zahur and everyone.
Is ready?
Wow, we have 41 colleagues, so let's get started. So again, the faster you answer, the more points you get. Here's your first question.
Oh, great.
The first question.
You have 15 seconds to answer this question. The faster you are, the more points you get. Oh, everyone has voted before time. Wow, super. And look at this, 18 people are struggling. 30 people are struggling here basically. Okay, let's see the leaderboard. I just changed the name. The leaderboard is now a rockstar board basically. Just, who's he? Oh, banana. I can identify the banana. Okay, virus found. Wow, this is going to be a quiz for us also. Virus found just. Okay, anyway. Moving on, so we move to the second question. Okay, question number 2. You have 15 seconds to answer this. I hope I got the spellings right, but the message is more important. You have 5 more seconds. Time's up. Okay. 18 people were struggling here, no problem. Let's see the rockstar board.
Yeah, very good.
Just is leading, although just is difficult to be awarded. I don't know, but anyway, Gaurav, Mukesh, wow.
Gaurav.
Oh, we have Mufti also. So Bangladesh is also there in the
Mufti.
Superb.
Good.
Hey, it's me. Who's he?
Okay, let's go to the third question.
So question number 3. Enter. The faster you are, the more points you get.
So target this is for this three-way mixture. Groundnut?
Wow. 18 seconds to answer this. Any guesses from the front rows? Zahur, Parthaji, any guesses to help the audience?
Rust? I think this everybody will answer.
Oh, wow. Superb. Let's see the leaderboard. Just.
So just cannot be given any award. I know who is just.
You know already? Oh, is it? Okay, great. We have Gaurav, Mukesh and Mufti. Superb.
Okay.
I don't see yesterday's winners in they are not participating today, kya?
They are specialists in insecticides.
Question number 4. SGR aspiring to close -billion INR in year 2025. Wow.
This should be
billion INR.
So Abhijit was clearly spelling it out at the end. So there are 2 and 1. Here we go. Time's up.
Time up.
Yes.
Ah, super. Awesome. Let's see the Rockstar board.
No.
So now it's changed to FS stars.
Oh. But it's MD star now.
Gaurav, oh Hina, all of a sudden Hina has come to number 3, Mukesh.
Good. But Gaurav is again.
So we
the second.
also have few names. Virus has come into the league now. Question number 5. Just Virus.
Ambition complete contains. Wow.
Okay, the faster you answer,
Easy
the more
answer.
points you get. Prem is saying it is very easy answer, but he cannot participate, unfortunately. Everyone has answered super. 18 people, all of above.
Okay.
And now the last question of this session basically. Okay, this is the leaderboard. Hina is at number 2, Gaurav number 1, Mukesh. Oh, we have another new entry.
Come on, Hina.
Hina,
Yes.
super.
Come on. Last question now.
Here we go. Last question. So this leaderboard will carry forward for next 2 sessions as well. So you have time to recover and oh, this is nice one. Saurav Fadia handles which brand in SGR?
Where is he? Saurav
There was a
Fadia.
nice introduction given by Prem in the morning. That's it. Time's up. Okay.
Okay.
Most of you got it right.
Right. Saurav, are you there? You are well acknowledged.
So finally the leaderboard. This is for this answer.
Okay. Good.
Hina, Gaurav, Sangram. So just is a winner, but unfortunately we don't know. It's just- Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
For your time.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ravi. Thank you. So, yeah. So we are going to. So morning, briefly we had got. And also the follow-up points over there. So now we will begin with the disease management as we scheduled. So initially we will hear from Christian on the global disease management update. Then we will introduce some of our Okay. Am I audible online team? Can anyone confirm, please? Yeah. So, Christian, just give me a minute to share the agenda. Then I'll give you back the screen sharing, please. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, so we will take into some of the projects before we have a break for Bayer South Asia Employee Town Hall for about 1.5 hours. Mainly we will see some of the deoxypiprolin projects with the different tank mix partners, both global and as well as the regional projects. Then we will have a break and then we will again begin with some of the drone initiatives from current, especially for the late blight in potato. And then we will continue with some of the regional protocols on Luparum mixtures, on fruits and vegetables. Then we will also take to see into flint also on rice, as well as trifloxystrobin and metribuzin, metalaxyl mancozeb combinations. Then we will again look into some of the fungicide launch excellence updates of this year, which is mainly for IBSL related. Then we will close. So this is the schedule, and now probably Christian, you are you'll have to maybe sharing from your end. Please go ahead and take us through the global updates. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And just maybe first of all, a technical check. Can you hear me well and do you see the screen?
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, and first of all, welcome everybody. I'm really happy to have the chance to present here a little update from the global side. Thanks a lot for the invite, and thanks also for all the sessions that you have already given and the nice results we presented. Within the next 10 to 15 minutes, I would like to give you a short update on our pipeline. But of course, I would like to also touch some other projects that we are dealing with, not only here in global, but of course together with you in the regions, and maybe also have a glimpse on the competitor pipeline, which might be interesting and important for the next years for our business. Very briefly, with this busy side, I would like to have a short recap of the year 2022, which also has been a real busy year. On one hand side, we have been working on a lot of products and solutions, so basically the product and solution development, shown here on the right, with a lot of different already known or even new projects, which you will hear about a bit more in the next minutes. So we have a plethora of new projects from biologics, but also from chemical sources, internal as well as external. So I can already now say we have a real nice and pleasant pipeline filled with promising new mode of actions, and hopefully we will develop them in the future also based on the nice work that you did. On the other side of this circle, if you want to say so, where we looked at products and solutions, as I said, but also as technologies and new tools. We worked on digitalization of our daily activities, and also, of course, try to improve the quality and reliability. And together with the other indications, together with you in the regions, together with the team of FST, as we are really on FS27. And some of the technologies and tools we have been working on are mentioned here on the right-hand side. Most of them are still under development, but we hope that in the near future we will also more and more have the chance to bring them into our daily life, our daily operations. And some activities are mentioned here. For example, we were using some UAVs or drones for the application of products, which was mainly also done in APAC, and thanks a lot for this work. But also we were using UAS and drones for the carriage of sensors of different kind to find different new possibilities of assessment of our trials. So go beyond what we are doing today. On the other hand, we are heavily and very intensively working on disease detection in terms of how early can we detect a disease, and maybe can we even detect the resistant stages of a disease already in the field. This has been done with some spore traps and also with some new technologies like nanopore. You may have heard of it. Then we are looking for the possibilities to use different methodologies for assessment. Here you see a normal iPhone, a normal mobile phone for the assessment of fusarium, headlight, and serials. And this is then the outcome where we have different assessments made by algorithms and calculation on the computer, or in banana, or in other crops as well, like potatoes. So this is work in progress, which we hope to really be able to implement then also in the next years. And then, of course, we have a lot of other stuff done. We are working on new business models like Cledema. We are working on new formulation aspects. Here, maybe the keyword would be the FAST 2.0 project, or microencapsulated formulations. Heavily working on the idea from going from Scout to the new platform to Velocity, so still a long way to go. And then definitely we are working on in the area of data analytics and quality. Multiple initiatives are running there, you know, DD quality, trial quality, completeness checks, etc. And also on various initiatives, in-field solutions, which are supposed to improve our daily working life and behavior. For example, could be the ASM concept, where also Asia is very heavily and intensively involved, thanks for that. Or initiatives like inclusion and diversity and others, just to mention a few. So, as you can see, a very busy year, not an easy year again. Also in APAC, but also in Europe, we have experienced extreme weather conditions, which made certainly the work not easier for you in the field. And I can only thank you very, very much for the diligent and resilient work and attitude that you made it happen, and that we received so many very good results. So thanks for that. With that, I just want to show a picture of the team composition as it is of November 22 today. For years, the team has been quite stable in its composition. In the last year, we have had quite some changes, and I would like to highlight those changes. First of all, we have now support in our project assistant area, Helga Keppel, especially also important for you who are involved in the sand import. So Helga will, until mid of next year, and hopefully even longer, will support us in that area. Then in the area of the economic solutions managers, we had a change from Annika Bartholomeus, who changed over to research, weed management, and Kerry McGuire from the UK organization took over the responsibilities for cereals, oilseed rape, sugar beets, and for example for projects like the isoflurane, and very important, the nuclear is the 735. That happened in the middle of the year. And then, unbelievable but true, Ingo Wetscholowski, after more than 36 years of diligent service to the company, retired and was replaced by Torben Pettersen. Still, Ingo is with us as a senior consultant, so helping Torben also to be onboarded in the area of soybean, corn, cotton, rice, of course, and very interesting projects like the Pyracetams. The remaining people here are still in charge, as you know them. Yeah, and this is what we want to talk about, a little bit of more information on the pipeline as we see it as of today. You are familiar with that setup. We are the different development phases at the top, and down below we see the different chemical groups, project names, and also the product codes, which are highlighting the single compounds. What has happened in the past year was really that we didn't only delete some projects, but we added also a couple of them. You see this here in different colors. The red ones, the red projects are now stopped or to be stopped due to various reasons. I come to that in a minute. The green products here are from external sources or within the frame of third-party cooperation, and the bluish ones are from our own kitchen, from our own chemists or biological teams. So maybe we start at the very beginning. We have had a class of chemistry called the EHABs with the front runners 099, mainly for Asian soil dust control, very active, highly competitive environment, but unfortunately we learned just the other day that there are some unfavorable tox results coming in, so this class will most likely not be pursued in the future. It's a really pity, but yeah, that's our daily work, also to select what we can't develop, and it's really a success to say early on, this can go or this can't. So it's of course not very happy event, but it's a good event for the entire company. The same happened with the DHODH. This is a molecule class having the new mode of action, for example, also taken by ipflophenoquin, or the old known molecule from Mitsui, NBF5040, highly active in certain areas of fruit and vegetables, or like in Sclerotinia. But unfortunately, we came to the conclusion due to very high competitive activities and also some questionable toxicological results that we don't aspire, we don't pursue this type of chemistry. So we will focus on other new mode of actions within our own company. Then we have one of the highlights, definitely, the pyridazinamide, the 079. It's a new internal mode of action, highly active against ascomycetes in the leaf area, mainly also in the fruit and vegetable area, but we have also indication that potentially we can use it in other crops. Next year, for example, we will test it more intensively in cereals in Europe. So you will see that as well. Then we have a completely new class. It's a new mode of action, not yet known in agriculture. It's targeting the synthesis of different molecules in the cell wall of the fungi. It's a Bayer class. So far we know that this is only carried on by Bayer, so really something new and unique. And we have a front runner since maybe 6 weeks. It's a 028. The focus was on soybean diseases, rust and leaf spots, but we have good indications and also good results already that it is much broader. So we are going to test it now already in different fruits and vegetables. We are going to test it in cereals. So this could be really a nice new broad-acting class and a very high level of efficacy. Very promising. Halogenes, PDI mode of action. You may have seen and heard about this already. This is an isoternil story, but this is a completely new chemistry class. And we have seen very fascinating results against bacteria, but also viruses. We have now 2 front runners since maybe a month. So it's really making progress in this project, and this will also be the focus for fruit and vegetables, but also other crops in the future. Coming maybe a little bit to the biologics, we have still the 844, which is which will be promoted to phase 2 hopefully soon. We have a new oomycetes targeting compound from Novozymes, the so-called Novo 1051, which is really nicely active on a level which is, I would say, promising. It's not a very high level of efficacy, like for example with chlorylpicoxamate or with others, but it's a good level of efficacy that we can use. Then we have 2 more classes which you have maybe already tested in India, but certainly you will get some of them, where we still have to answer some questions concerning not the efficacy, but productability and registrability. Cationic is a completely new class of chemistry from a third party, based on inulin sugars and building up polymers with some electrically charged side chains. We are really getting quite nice efficacy across a broad range of crops. Maybe we can target it in an area of a new multi-cycle kind of product. Yeah, 079 I have mentioned already. We are looking at some external products from external companies, ibuprofen, metallurpicoxamate. I'm not going to focus on them right now. We have stocked one product from a Japanese company, the 114. It was given to us as a powdery mildew specialist, and we definitely could see and prove this claim. It is highly active against powdery mildews and also against other leaf diseases in vegetables and fruit, but unfortunately only at rather high rates. And together with a rather high transfer price, what we expect to have, and the narrow scope of really low rate control, we decided that this is maybe not the molecule that we would focus on. We would rather like to focus on our competitor, on our cooperative new DMI, the 735, which you have seen already, highly active in cereals, also active in fruit and vegetables. We have some indications for rice, which we need to prove, and we need to also work more on partners. The 735, as I said, is a new DMI, so it's not a new mode of action, but it could be and it will be a replacement for tibuconazole, for example, as tibuconazole is under really severe regulatory threat in Europe and in other parts of the world. They may follow, and it can be a nice complementary molecule partner for our pipeline, for example, thiopuracil, bixafen, flupuram, etc. So this is really sort of a working horse, broadly active, not a specialist in every case, but a really solid contributor. And then we have a couple of different products which you know, and we will talk about some of them, and you will report on some of them in the later stages of this talk today. For example, floxapicillin or others, which I will not tackle at the moment. Maybe you allow me in a few minutes also to have a short view on the disease control pipeline of the industry in general. And what you see here is this very colorful picture, which is obtained from the pipeline competitor book, which is very, very nice to get some information about different classes, competitor activities, etc. And it depicts basically the expected launch dates of various molecules from the various big companies, but also smaller other companies, mainly from Japan and China, over the years from 2020 to 2026 and beyond. And looking at it a little bit more in detail, you can discover some, I would say, trends. One trend is definitely, if you look at the SDHIs, which have been maybe the dominating class of new chemistry over the last 15 to 20 years, with more than 20 new products, new SDHIs coming to the market. This wave seems now to come to an end. The latest ones which we have seen, for example, is Influxam, where we have a cooperation in soybean in Brazil. It's our own isoflurane, which we expect to have hopefully very soon. The cyclobutyfuran from Syngenta, which is a fluparam-like molecule, is now coming to the market in Latin America, and we expect it also in other parts of the world very soon. And then here the pyracopamine from Nissan, which is also supposed to come in the following years. But then in the outer years, we don't see any new molecules from that kind coming. So as I said, this wave seems to come to an end. What we also see is that some of the already established chemistries, like the DMI, the fluoxythioconazole, or our 735, see a sort of revival because established DMIs are going to be extracted from markets, tibuconazole, epoxyconazole, and others, due to regulatory threats. But we still we see the need for these broadly active, highly active compounds from a DMI resistance type. So this is really interesting for the entire industry. And maybe another trend is that we see some completely new mode of actions. So the industry is really looking for something new. I already reported on our own compounds, for example, the 079, which is depicted here, or the very new ones, the fluorescentans. But then also looking into the competition like Corteva, they have the QII complex 3 inhibitors, the fenpicoxamide, mainly in cereals, the fluoropicoxamide, which is meant to be then more in fruit and vegetables, and the metarupicoxamide, which we are also looking at in mainly soybean, but also maybe beyond. Other new mode of actions which are depicted here from the industry are, for example, the DHODH. We, as Bayer, have decided not to pursue this mode of action in this chemistry due to good reasons, but other companies will do. For example, Syngenta and BASF, they are ahead of us, they are more advanced. But they also will face the same toxicological issues as we believe we would have. But then, at the end of the day, also like new model, very specialized mode of actions like the HDACs for soybean control, mainly Brazil, but also maybe for India and the US are coming into play. And then a lot of new stuff is coming in, which we are not yet quite sure about if this is just a one-side exercise or if there are more products to come. But we will watch it closely, and we will, of course, if the possibility and the chance arises, we will have also some activities there and maybe cooperations. Maybe at the end of this short presentation, my request to you, as I said before, this picture and all the information in the competitor pipeline book are compiled here in Monheim by colleagues. They are collected based on literature, based on internet information, but also based on the information that we can get from you. So whenever you hear anything about competitors, please let us know. It's really helpful to bring everything into this overview and compile the information so that we know best what the competition will bring, to better be able to develop also our own products and solutions and bring them later on to the market. And yeah, with that, maybe just not going into the details and outlook what we will have as new candidates for next year, also for in some tests in India. We discussed it already with Karen, Fleet, and with Prem. We will have a nice program in India, and already now I would like to thank you very much for all the offers that you gave to us and the possibilities to test. Yeah, and with that, I would like to finish my presentation. I have added some take-home messages which you can read later in the day, and I would like to thank you very much for the opportunity to present and also for your kind attention.
Thank you, Christian, and very helpful to see all those pipeline, and very excited as a company. We have very good pipeline, and yeah. Maybe I would like to ask any questions for one slide. So we have one question for you.
Okay, please.
Ajay, Christian, this is Nilesh Raul from Brand Growth Manager Fungicide. In one of your slide, I have seen that Iprovalicarb in the phase 5 has been marked and red, and one line was there on that. Yep. So what exactly it is? Is it going to be phased out, or how? What does it indicate?
Very good. What's really, thanks a lot for pointing this out. You may know that we wanted to develop Iprovalicarb in a new formulation type. We wanted to bring the old WG, we wanted to develop a new SC, more adjuvanted. It was the belief that the sole Iprovalicarb we could develop in Europe, mainly for Europe, with new formulations. But this has not been successful. We have tested over many years now Iprovalicarb, for example, in apples, and with the new SCs, with the adjuvanted formulations, and they didn't prove to be better than the old WG, and that's why I said here the Equalicard project was stopped. What is in the market? Also mixtures containing Equalicard, Melody for example, they will prevail, that is no doubt. That was a specific project which we targeted, and this has been stopped. Thanks for pointing that out, very important.
Thanks Christian.
Sure.
There is one more question from Karan.
Thank you, Christian, for the update. And my question is related to, because you are testing different technologies. How do you see the scope that in terms of this disease detection, phenotyping, and do you see any scope that FS also can contribute for, IBSL can contribute for the development of these technologies? Because we have a major problem of diseases, I think we can help quite a lot for development of algorithm and in other strategies also.
Absolutely, no kind of thing. You're mentioning a very important point. At the moment, we are focusing on some very few proof of concepts, and this is namely Septoria and Sirius. Why? Because it's close to Monheim. We have the station at Höfchen. Our colleagues from research of Kleemann and Emilia Hiltz, they developed this last year. And now for the Northern Hemisphere 2023, we are going to have a pilot, a larger pilot in the country of the United Kingdom. And once we have proven that it also works under field conditions, and not only in the lab, and we have maybe fine-tuned a little bit the methodology, we want to go for other crops, for other diseases in other countries. And if you say you have the capabilities and also the manpower, we are more than happy then to involve also the local Indian EBSL FS organization into that organization. Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Christian.
Yeah, I could see one question from chat from Yogesh. Any biological in advanced stage?
Now we have to discuss what is the advanced phase. We have in our early phases, the 844 is the most advanced one, which is prone to phase 2 promotion. But from a more advanced phase, it's Serenade, as you know, it's already marketed, it's phase 5. We have one other product which is called Sonata, Bacillus subtilis or firmus, but this is going to be phased out in Europe. So I would say Serenade here, this is the most advanced one, and then the newer, from the newer kitchen, the 844 is the one. But it will take some time to be on the market, and with a special situation in India where you can't import bacteria or strains which are not native to India, I'm not sure how this will prevail. This is something that we need to clarify.
Right. Yeah. Coming to there only, Nilesh. So there is one question from GBS Naidu. So do we have any upcoming molecules for sheath, blight and dust? We have GBS Garu. Actually, we have very good products for sheath blight. Upcoming is Felugit, and also for rice blast we have Flint, which are going to be clear differentiators for the rice, even including smallholders. So if your question was pertaining to the upcoming, near launches, these are the two products actually. Otherwise, already in the list also, we have, Triflox is mentioned here, right? So these are the propionate-based compound is Felugit, that is, as you know, it is Rhizoctonia specialist.
Yeah, I think that we need to further develop our idea about the 735 device. It might be not as strong, for example, as the pentylphenicoconazole mixture, but this could be a potential working force. For the 079, so far I have also no clear idea. This is something to be worked on. But maybe if you look a bit more into the future, the pyracetams, and then also a new class, the so-called Thiazox, which is just about to be tested the first time in the field next year. They are promising candidates also for pyrrhicularia, for example, or Rhizoctonia. So here I would be really curious to see, and we are planning some trials, 028 in India in the next Kharif season.
Yeah, probably we'll continue our discussion through chat. There is a question, Satyagaru, I see, print for neck blast. I think it is not for the neck blast. This is only for the leaf blast. Okay, so please continue posting your questions. So in the interest of time, now we will go into some of the commercial update and business update from Nilesh. So I would like to invite Nilesh for your and sharing of your business update on the ongoing fungicide business in IBSL.
And thank you again for the opportunity to report.
Yeah.
If there are any questions coming up, please just send me a message and I will try to answer them if I can.
Thanks again, Christian, for your time and also sharing this update. And look forward for you and your team's presence in this session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So good afternoon all, and now since morning we are watching a lot of trials and various label claim we have observed. This testing is going on, various testing against the benchmark, against the competition in various crops, and really glad to see such a kind of vast opportunity, and we are ready to encash that opportunity. Basically, if we see fungicide, there is a fun, name itself include the fun. So it's really interesting to enjoy this business of a fungicide with such a kind of a vast opportunity, and it will be fascinating to deal with some invisible entity, unless and until you know their language, their signs, symptoms, and lot many other things. So you will enjoy dealing with that, and that's why I just want to bring to notice of all audience. If you see the fungicide business outlook of a BCS, we are having a total 9 fungicides. Recently, we have launched one more microbiological fungicide, which is Rhapsody. Okay, unfortunately, we couldn't, get the Serenade due to some quarantine challenges. But we are trying to make it up with Rhapsody. So that's the one information I want to share with all of you. Right now, we are selling Rhapsody in the grapes. And we are even checking various opportunities where in other crops we can develop it. But if you see the core portfolio, this fungicide portfolio contribute around 26% of our total business, which is having almost 890 crore. In million rupees, it's 8,840 million rupees. And this gives a very profitable business, which is 54% of IGM. So it carries very good weightage in the bottom line also. If you see the value market share, it is around 15% in the 6,000 crore market of a fungicide in India. And treated area wise, it is contribute around 7.5% of a market share. So you can say we are playing quite crucial role in the Indian agriculture market. If you see specifically weightage on the brand wise, so no doubt Natio is carrying the biggest weightage, which is contributing around 370 crore in 2021, and in 2022 we are expecting it will land somewhere around nearby 400 crore. And in our 1 billion mission, we are expecting this brand to grow to 1,000 crore. At this moment, if we see the standalone, this brand is having a 5th position. Indian agriculture market is dominated with insecticide. So in the top session, you can see in the top rank, you can see Corazin, Fertera, Proclaim kind of a brands. But on the 5th stand, Natio is there. So it's really can say appreciating kind of performance, and all of us, our sales colleague, our FS colleague, MD colleagues are contributed with their best efforts. So thanks to all of them. And morning we have seen there is highest label claim what we are having for the NATIO, which supports this business, this such a kind of a business, highly profitable business. Apart from that, quite an old brand which is Antracol and having a very good presence over there. And we are expecting even all these brands are growing well in 2022. Even there is, some of the segmentation also we have done, like, Folicure and Dunus. If you see Folicure, we were, there around 40 crore business around, we were, last 4 to 5 years. But just within 2 years, Folicure, Dunus has grown to 62 crore. So this is also a new kind of, you can say opportunities and new kind of avenue we are trying to develop with a small holder initiative. So that's the one area where I just want to highlight. And if you see the lower side, which is Alliate, Melody, Folicure, keep aside a Folicure, Infinito, and the Profiler. These are the specialist molecule of oomycetes and very niche, goes in the very niche market like a downy mildew downy mildew of grapes. So here we are, having a sizable business and we are having a very good presence in terms of even treated area. So I'll just request Prem to go to the next. This is what shows our strong presence, portfolio presence in the respective market segment. And when I was, praising about our various, number of trials, number of crops and various area, this is actually what going to help in complex disease scenario. If you see paddy, grapes and chili, these are the crops which contribute almost 50%, close to 50% of the total business. And this is the same scenario for the Indian agriculture market also. Okay? And the good to know that we are very strong with our all these 10 fungicides over here. Though there is little bit gap in the bacteria side, but hopefully with few of the product we are trying, it will be feel very soon. Even though we are expecting with the penflupen and dabu, which is a Felugit, coming in a very short period, so that also fill up our need for the sheet blight, which is one of the biggest segment in the paddy. So all this segment, if you see, we need lot many complicated disease need to be handled, and with the strength of 10 fungicides, we are able to do that. Apart from that, one thing is there, the you can say upper hand of having such a kind of vast portfolio is no any competition is having such a kind of robust portfolio, and there we get a very good advantage of managing and showcasing the value addition to the farmers. So that is the biggest advantage what we are having, and I wish we will keep on continuing this leadership in the market. There are some expectation from the FS side. First of all, I must appreciate the way different number of trials has been tested, and that will give us an opportunity to pick and choose the various solution for the Indian agriculture. One more thing I just want to see in the next such a kind of trials is testing efficacy is not only our requirement. We are willing to see what is the ROI of that efficacy. So basically when I'm saying ROI, what is the cost of that molecule against that segment, and what is that ROI farmer can draw out of that investment. So that gives us a more confidence and more clarity about how we can position these molecules in our different sequential trials or sequential solution. And apart from that, there should be a right benchmark in each segment. For example, when I'm talking about the sheet blight trial, so it is but obvious there should be thioflutamide like a molecule should be there in the benchmarking, so that we can test it what exactly how how we are stand against the benchmarking product. No doubt, in the most of the area, we are having our own product are set as a benchmark, but there are still some other products which we have to consider as during the benchmark. So this is all from my side. So thank you very much. Thank you for all your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilesh. That's a really short and sweet presentation from you. And let me share the next presentations. So colleagues, this is my first fungicide presentation. And I see very much grateful to God and also company for giving this opportunity, because it's a new learning for me and this is my first KRM to be started. Yeah. So I will try my best to carry forward the most difficult work that we had on the ground this season, especially in the erratic season, and also some of the interesting outcomes in the northern hemisphere. So IBSL being a strong contributor for fungicide business from in the back, and also the level of diversity that we have, you can see in this slide how much pipeline that is near near to launch. In my God, so entire right portion of this slide almost become green. So this is the importance of next 2-3 years that we are all collectively going to be deliver this mammoth task. And the similar example for Bangladesh, you can see it is more faster than India in this slide, where 23, 24, 25. So every year we have new products to be coming into the market for the different customers that we serve. So this is the task that we have in ahead, keeping in this mind. So we are evaluating each and every bit of our observations, our trials, according to the needs of the customer. And with that, probably I will begin with one of the global trial. Before that, just for your information, the codes and signs, wherever you see there is a dark color, it is excellent in efficacy. And if it is light green in color, it's good, and yellow is satisfactory, and light yellow is marginal. Similarly, phytotoxicity ratings are also in similar manner. So the first project that we have is the mixtures of fluoxapyroline. And before going into the data, probably I would request also Ganesh to take us through the project product profile and also the project over here. Ganesh, may I request you to?
Yes, sure, Prem. Can you hear me well?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Prem, for the opportunity and setting up all the trials for the disease management, in spite of having the challenges and playing the dual role. So really very much appreciated, and all the best for your first presentation for the disease management. So before we start, just to those who are not really know me, I am Ganesh Kapre, Agronomic Solution Manager for Disease Management. And to start with the background about the Zivana, which is our upcoming oomycete solution. And this is like we are developing for the different crops in the oomycete segment. So those who are not really familiar, this is one of the strong solution to offer in the oomycete segment with mode of action of OSBPI. And the performance point of view, what we really see that compared to the existing standard fluoxapyroline, which is the one having a very strong activity against the late blight and the downy mildew. But of course, when we say the strong activity, it also comes with certain risks. So that's how we see there is also some cross resistance issue with some existing chemistry and also considering the pathogen. And that's why we have developing we are also developing certain mixtures for this. So in the upcoming slides, we will see the performance of Zivana as well as in combination with different mixing partner like cyclopamide, flubicolide, and also there are some mixing partner which we are testing as a tank mix option. But I think with this first objective that Prem like to highlight here, this is more with the global testing program where we are testing different recipes or different formulations of fluoxetine plus cyclopamide, and this is mainly to understand which will be the better option for us to make this as a final formulation and to start the registration trial from next year. I think as per the timeline which is mentioned, this formulation of FLU plus CAZ will, FXN plus CAZ will be available by Q3 of next year. So in this program we are testing several formulations of FXN plus CAZ which is having different adjuvant, and also there are some comparison of 200 versus 100 SC formulation. So yes, over to you, Prem.
Yeah, thank you, Ganesh. I think Christian, so just Ganesh for this global protocol. Otherwise, I hope it's fine because 621 already we are also testing. I hope it's okay. So these trials, as you know, the map of India clearly shows the most potential cultivated areas in India are one is in west in Maharashtra and in south it's in Karnataka. So with the interest of disease pattern, so definitely western Maharashtra is the big, an important area where we find most of the important diseases like downy mildew and powdery mildew. So here you can see we have 4 trials and which are marvelous in all are in high quality. Appreciate here our 2 colleagues Sangram and Vinayaka for the delivering good quality results of this important project for IBSL as well as as a global. So quickly as Ganesh mentioned, so this project mainly targeting one important mixture, that ready mixture that we are looking to prepare ourselves from as a stewardship program and resistance management. So 621 as a solo you can see in treatment number 2, as well as fluoxetine and cyclopamide mixtures in 2 different formulations, SC200 and 100, with different SP numbers that contain different adjuvant systems. So we compared this with the standards like dimethamorph and mancozeb, as well as the mancozeb mixtures over here. This is a 6 applications we have conducted, and you can see there is a 2 particular doses for each treatment, mainly comprising 20 and 15 gram IA of doxapiprolin with 80 and 60 gram IA of cyclopamide. So across these different SP numbers, the question that we answer is which SP number finally is going to be recommended for the ready mix formulation development. So this is what we are going to answer now, and probably I would like to invite Sangram for sharing his data with this rainfall pattern, how nicely it has dealt him.
Yeah, thanks for Prem for giving overview about the this project and all treatment details. So I would like to share the rainfall data for this year. So this year you all know that rainfall pattern is very heavily impacted all the across the India, we can say. So which help us to get the clear-cut indications of downy mildew. So you can see right from the starting of the trial, we have started trial on 26th. So throughout the trial period, you can see the intensity of rainfall during the trial duration. So very heavy rainfall, which will provoke the disease pressure to be go on higher side. So these are the various stages at which we have given the different applications of this our treatments. So this is the critical stage called as a cup stage, from where we used to start our grape downy mildew trial, because we should start these trials at completely preventive stage, and this is the critical stage to get spore disease incorporated into the grape. So coming to the result part, so these slides indicates the incidence on of downy mildew on grape bunches and leaves as well. So here you can see disease already started after the third application. Okay, so first 3 application completely gone in a preventive application, and after the removal of fail sprouts and fail from the crop, the disease incidence has been noticed. And you can see across the 4 location. Okay, this is for data for 2 locations only. So it went up to 50% damages of bunch, and also the around 30 to 35% incidence in the leaves. So from the graph, it is clear that out of 2 recipes which Prem has explained, that is 100 SC and 200 SC, it is indicating that this 100 SC means these 4 graphs are giving clear-cut higher efficacy compared to 200 SC, and which confirms the last year's result as well. So out of that 2 recipes, 42 SP42 and SP43, SP42 is comparatively giving the quite good control, means less incidence on bunches and leaf as well. So this is about the percent efficacy on bunches and leaf again. So severity, this is based on the severity percentage. Earlier slide was on incidence basis, and this is against the severity. So though the severity looks very less, it is less than 10%, but it's indicating the per leaf disease pressure. So overall, if you go, it's a very severe, we can say the percentage of severity. So here also the clear-cut indication is that both the recipes from 100 SC are clearly showing the edge over efficacy over 200 SC. So this is again the confirmation over last year, and from these 2 treatments, if you compare, then this again 42 SP number 42 is giving quite good efficacy. Yeah, both.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Similarly, that we have seen in Western Maharashtra, which is a main grape cultivating area. Similarly, in South, in Bengaluru also, we have observed. So I request Vinayaka to share his experience of this area.
Thank you, Sangram, Prem, for setting the context. So here, as Sangram mentioned, he also showed in the picture, we have initiated this trial as fully preventive manner. At the 2 to 3 leaf stage, that's like around 15 days after the pruning, and so disease immediately started like 22 days after the pruning, and we can see the severity of the disease in untreated ear. So it is almost going up to more than 60%. This is the severity on the grape bunches. So wherein we can find out of 10 bunches, 6 to 7 bunches are severely burnt up. They are blackened and they are completely gone. So here we can see the 2 recipes as Ganesh mentioned. FXN plus azofamid 100 SC and 200 SC. Treatment number 8 to 11 are 100 SC. We can see clear-cut, consistent efficacy coming from this FXN plus azofamid 100 SC, and also this is superior to the existing market standards, that is Acrobat plus M45, and also the clearly superior than the Redomil Gold. Yeah.
Thanks, Vinay. Exactly the way Sangram and Vinayak has mentioned. So you can see the judgment writing over here, which is reflecting the same, and especially the SP numbers 242 and 243 of 100 SC are clearly actually giving consistency. Consistently, they are winning over the other, SP numbers. And so you can see the images here also depicting the same. Sorry for not so visible if you are able to try, but these are clearly the symptoms you can see on them. So the answers that we had was there is no phytotoxicity was observed and excellent efficacy observed with this FXN and CAZ 100SC, and 80 plus 20 was at par with even 60 plus 15, and it's very effective on leaves, bunches and twigs as well. So leaves and bunches are the main targets here, so it is excellent. So there are no unexpected effects observed on this, and our way forward is very clear. So in 2023 we will continue with this ready mixture that we are going to receive, and probably we will test between these two doses, 60 plus 15 and 80 plus 20. So I'll complete this project as soon as possible and we will make a break. We have 5 to 7 minutes more to begin with the next town hall. Yeah. So next is the same project. That's all about the global, and next we are moving into the regional projects on potato. So again here I can see there are Fluoxapiprolene Solo 15 and 20. Then there are a couple of tank mix partners just to understand which can be the potential tank mix partner that can be having better resistance management and also provide a sustainable solution for the vegetable farmers. So here flupicolide and cyjophamide were tested at 120 and 100 gram AI of flupicolide and 60 and 80 gram AI of cyjophamide here, and 8 and 9 are the solo of respective tank mixes, and the here dimethamorph and mancozeb are the the standards. So Ganesh, I think can you able to share the objectives of this project and the previous note?
Yes, sure. Maybe just to give you more background on these studies that we are doing it. So in case of solo development, this is quite well established. In terms of gaps, especially if you talk about India, this is in between the range of 18 to 22.5 with the different crops. But at the same time, we are also developing the mixture. As we know, the reason behind that risk of resistance that we see with FXN, and that's why we are developing several mixtures there. So first is FXN plus flupicolide. So this is also for targeting the same crops and segment like grape, potato, cucumber and tomato, where we are registering the solo. And right now India and China is the leading country for this mixture. But at the same time there is also a mixture in the development which is quite coming next year as a free for registration, because of there are several discussion about which will be the suitable mixing partner besides flupicolide, and several mixture tested, and then finally we decided on cyzophamide. So then finally we are getting this formulation. So this will be like definitely there will be timeline difference between flupicolide versus cyzophamide. But in case of India, what I understood from like some previous comments in the chat box, like there will not be much difference between solo FXN registration versus FXN plus flupicolide. So considering this, we are trying to understand the difference of efficacy between flupicolide versus cyzophamide mixture, and also that how much is the contribution, or is there any improvement over solo? That's what we are trying to understand with this year objectives in all the crops. Thank you.
Thanks Ganesh. So accordingly, we have done this testing both in Rabi season, which is the main market for potato, and as an exploratory, and having to grab the market that is around in south, especially in Kharif, in Tamil Nadu. So we have also conducted some study. So this is the results what we had in the dry season where Hina and Deepankar has done, and here it was very clear. Flupicolide solo versus the cyzophamide in treatment number 8 and 9, you can clearly see there at par, or even cyzophamide was coming slightly better than flupicolide here. Whereas when you go with the tank mixes, treatment number 4 versus 7, it was at par both, which means we have an opportunity to have a tank mix till we get the ready mix is registered here. Similarly, if we come to the Kharif testing, which is an exploratory, so Lokesh can explain in brief about his experience in OT.
Yeah, thanks Prem. Good afternoon everyone. This trial initiated at OT. Here there was no phytotoxicity was observed any of the treatment. coming to the result, first you can see in untreated. Here at the time of application, we have observed 1% severity, but now you can see at 14 days after C application, almost 100% damage was observed in the untreated plant. If you see the treatment, here the solo isofamide is slightly inferior than solo flupicolide as 120 gram active ingredient per hectare. Now you can see combination of fluoxypiprolene plus isofamide is giving good efficacy, which is at par with fluoxypiprolene plus flupicolide at 138 gram active ingredient per hectare. If you see the marker standard of agrobet plus ditanium 45 was giving less efficacy, it is a very poor. So we have observed, we have concluded here combination of fluoxypiprolene plus isofamide at 20 plus 80 and combination of fluoxypiprolene plus flupicolide 138 gram active ingredient we have recommended for in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Lokesh. As we visited both physically and virtually, it was very high infestation, and noticed the farmers generally use 30-35 rounds of spray to contain this, Phytophthora. So you can see in the judgment rating as well, between UP and Uttarakhand, there is a differential response. So finally, we can see like cyzofamide and flupicolide combinations are more or less at par when we combine together, and as we see the solo performance was slightly inferior to these combinations, but not much significant difference. And these are some of the visuals. You can see untreated is completely gone because of this late blight, and still there are survivals in the solos as well as the very good crop. And disease was rapidly progressing within a 4 to 7 days period. You can see in the last photograph, this is the acrobat and ditanium 45, where already it is almost second untreated kind of situation. So very nice quality trials. So this is how this year we have done this exercise. Thank you, Lokesh. So similarly in cucumber also we have done the similar protocol, and we have done this again in the Karnataka, and we have done in MP. So Nilesh would share his experience on this.
Yeah, thanks Prem for inviting me to share the result of 6:1 plus mixture against cucumber downy mildew. So if we see in untreated, from 4 different locations, around 20 to 55% severity was observed in untreated. In this scenario, we can say 6:1 at the rate 20 GI was giving approximately 85 to 90% efficacy. And if we talk about the mixture 6:1 plus flupicolide at 18 plus 120 and 6:1 plus Ranman 20 plus 80 is giving around 95% efficacy. And if we compare both these mixture with the solo flupicolide and Ranman, so we have around 10 to 15% superior efficacy over solo compounds. Yeah, and all this treatment was found superior over market standard, that is Acrovate plus ditanium empathalis.
Yeah, thanks Nilesh, thank you. Similarly, the judgment rating also, if you see treatment number 5 and treatment number 7 across these 3 locations tested, especially with the high doses, it is coming up excellent as compared to the treatment number 10, which is market standard. So the last crop for the same project is tomato late blight, and again here the same treatments were tested, and again this was laid out in 3 locations. I would call Vinayaka to share about the tomato trial results.
Yeah, so like potato late blight, so similar trend of untreated severity we observed. So you can see almost the disease is shooting up to 45-50%, And yeah, this trial is from the Maharashtra location. And here we have observed almost in 6 to 1 20 gram, we have observed 70-75% efficacy. And 6 to 1 plus FLC at 138 gram, and also 6 to 1 plus Runman 20 plus 80 also on the same line. Yeah. So this trial almost we have done this trial at three locations of 2 at Bangalore location and 1 at Maharashtra. So here even in untreated disease shooting more than 60-70% we can see here. And here we have 2 mixing partners, fluoropicolide and Runman. So in this scenario, 6 to 1 plus fluoropicolide 138 gram is clearly coming as excellent, and even this is at par with 6 to 1 plus FLC 115 gram. And along with this 6 to 1 plus cyazofamide, that is treatment number 6 and 7, even 15 plus 60 and 20 plus 80 is also at par. So these treatments are clearly better than the existing market standards, that is Acrobat plus M45 and as well as Runman. And if we compare to the solo fluoxypiperolin, the FXN at 15 gram, treatment number 2 is slightly was coming as a inconsistent one as compared to the 20 gram. Yeah.
Thanks, Vinayaka. There is a dose response definitely with the solos, and there is at par efficacy between FLC and thank you. Yeah, and similarly, you can see some of the photographs as well, the disease progression and the value of these FLC and cyazofamide as a tank mix partners. So with this, this first project is concluded, and the way forward for this is clearly 80 plus 20 with cyazofamide, and FLC it is 120 plus 18 can be better recommendation from our side. In 2023 we are going to continue for confirming this gap again with the also different protocols from the region. So this is for the first project, and thank you. And if you have any questions, please share it in the chat box. And as the schedule, and as you know, there is a town hall from 3 o'clock to 4:30 p.m. as per Indian time. So we will come back and join again with the next schedule. Okay. So I request you to please don't disconnect, and please connect back as at 4:30 p.m.
Procurement space, right? The way our teams are building out their teams is tremendous growth we're seeing. So overall, we should feel very good how as an organization, how far we're going, coming together in South Asia, and not just in India, but Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the similar trajectory as well. A couple of quick topics I will talk because top of mind you've been seeing reviews. GM Mustard. This, to me, is the biggest, I would say, manipulation that the country has seen in biotechnology since biotech market happened in 2002. Why do I say it? Because this is the first food crop to be deregulated in the country. Number 2 is this is an invention by an Indian public sector organization partnering with the Indian scientists, and this is going to be a game changer, especially if you look at the opportunity it creates for more oilseeds to get deregulated and other food crops. But having said that, there's already a big anti-lobby starting to fight against it in the court. Hopefully, we will see that pass, and the government is going to defend it very vigorously. Right? They're very clear that we need to have new technologies. And at the same time, if you see, we have seen a challenge in this world is the Roundup business, right? With the single biggest molecule all over the world, in the country as well. Now, the government has not banned it. Thanks for good news. What they've said is it can only be applied by pest control operators. But the bad news is we don't have pest control operators. who can physically apply. So there's a bit of a paradox there. And again, as an industry, we are collaborating and trying to help the government see it from a practical perspective, because we don't want small farmers in the country or the tea plantation to suffer with a regulation that goes counter to all our efforts to improve productivity, right? So that is the bit of a context there. Then, if you go down, what excites me a lot, and for all of us, is this year we have seen a number of senior leaders interact with us virtually, especially if you see senior leaders from Germany. Rodrigo Santos, for the first country in the world after he took over as CEO, the virtual visit happened with India, with IBSL. And we led it, Simon led the discussion, and then that set the pace for the other countries as well. That's the first. We had an outstanding interaction with Sarina. Sarina spent some time with us in July, almost, I would say, 2.5 days with us, Harish. And again, great opportunity. The third piece was, we recently, not just this week, I would say, for the first time in crop science, the global town hall of crop science happened in India from Bangalore virtually, and it was outstandingly well done. Brian never been here. Unfortunately, Rodrigo should have been here, but they were logistics on his travel. But either case, we hosted it from India and showcased to the world the opportunity that is happening in Asia, especially in India as well. So the traction that we are seeing is incredible. And as we speak, Wolfgang, our CFO, is with our Bangalore team, and he's going to see the great work that Aparna and team are doing in Bangalore. But of course, we will showcase the entire South Asia as part of that as well when he interacts with us tomorrow. So the good news is India and IBSL South Asia is up in the radar for the entire organization. We're getting a lot of support. And finally, employee voice. And Harish will talk about it more. The kind of response we saw, almost 85 to 86% of the entire population responded to the survey. Not just responded, gave us tremendous feedback, both in terms of metric, but qualitatively as well. So I'm going to stop here and then transition over to Simon. All I can tell you is a big thank you as we start to the entire discussion to say it's been a tremendous year despite all the challenges. We are on the right track, not just for this year, but for the medium to long term as well. So a big round of applause for everybody. So Simon, Bridge, go ahead, over to you.
The region overall, and it's actually noteworthy, and he just mentioned it, is consumer health. So in the second year of operation of our own entity, having a business in our own hands, we see a growth of 61% today, and for the full year that will be more than 60% compared to last year. Really incredible, and I think for all the business, fantastic growth that we are seeing here across the countries as well. Let's move to the next slide. So I'm actually now diving a bit deeper into what are the highlights of the different divisions. So starting with crop science. Thank you. So for next slide, yeah, perfect. So for crop science, so what do we see? We see on the one hand a very good double-digit growth in liquidation. So and the point I would like to bring to your attention here is that this is not a say one-time performance. But this year now shown for the last 14 quarters in a row. So that's really a remarkable achievement. So that we're not only selling through the channel, but also able to then ensure that liquidation happens. The other point on the business side is that we also have seen a very strong rebound on the corn seed compared to last year. And as many of you know, this is certainly helping not only the top line, but also very much in the bottom line, because that is a very profitable business for us. The last thing here for Kopfstein that I would like to mention, because it makes us especially proud, is to see that now 100 women entrepreneurs have been onboarded as part of our Better Life Center. So that is a very remarkable achievement, and I'm sure there will be more to come in the future. Now, focusing a little bit on money, I think the team continues to back this award, and also from my side, congratulations. I think I personally have stopped counting how many awards we achieved, and that's something that really makes us proud in the whole region. On the digital side, it's also something that is really remarkable, is that we see a growth of 24% compared to last year, and that's even a 23% growth over what we set out to do at the beginning of the year. So, really fantastic results. Please move to the next slide, where I would like to share some comments on achievement of pharmaceuticals. So you see that recently both Kerendia and the Fubu were launched by the team here. And this is especially remarkable because this is now the first time that we are launching these innovative brands in India in line with global timelines. Whereas you might remember in the past, this would have been a couple of months, if not years later. And more importantly, what the team can be especially proud of is that for the Fubu, we see that there is a much better patient acquisition to this very established countries like US, Germany, Japan. So really fantastic. And also for Kerendia, we see that the performance was noted by the global team, and our team here received the Performance Excellence Award. So really not only launching in line with the global timeline, but also outperforming and doing special great job there. Really remarkable. One last thing I would like to mention for pharmaceuticals is also that for the innovative drugs, we know that sometimes it's not for all patients affordable to buy the drug. So it's really good to see that we have now been able to also launch a patient access program for the data, which is for the treatment of prostate cancer. Thank you for this really remarkable achievements here. Can you please all move on to the next slide to take a look at consumer health? So as I mentioned, the growth is fantastic. The team is very confident to achieve the full year target. And again, remember, that means a 50% growth over last year. And that is even despite the slowdown which is currently ongoing in the consumer market. One main driver that we see was that the team used the digital campaign to really then also able to specifically target certain customer segments. And this was one major factor to be able to deliver that really high, fast growth. The last thing I would like to mention here is that now as also part of our CSR activities, we have now also a social commerce initiative where we are now providing supervision to communities since November. So not only focusing on business growth, but also making sure that we benefit or support society overall. On the next slide, I would like to dive a bit into countries. So for Pakistan, let me start with business. We see a great business over there, and this is a very, very challenging environment from a political and economic perspective. But, and I'm sure you all remember, unfortunately, we also had unprecedented floods in Pakistan. So what is that? So Bayern also stepped in here to see how we can best support the 33 million people that were affected by these floods. And very good what we've done from our team. So we supported more than 5,000 families with relief goods, and also with our rental installation reached more than 60,000 patients. And at this point in time, I would also personally like to thank everybody who participated in this global employment campaign that we have. Very nice to see that we are also stepping in when the global gets rough, as usually by. On the next slide, I would like to briefly comment also on Bangladesh. So here we continue to see a nice growth. I've been with the team last week. So and what their company is focusing very much on production with some good results. And that will also continue to be very important to make sure that this growth is also on a sustainable basis. And of course, in addition, we also see a very nice development here with our public position list and also in the case of the Better Life Farming Initiative. So thanks for that and greetings to everybody in Bangladesh. On the next slide, I would like to highlight what's happening in the formerly known shared service and service network. You can see even the difference to pronounce that, and what the global team with also representation of course from Bangalore has done is to really strategically reposition that whole setup. And now not only have they changed the name to Global Business Services, which makes a lot more sense, but I really appreciate also the idea to not only think of our global business services as an extended workbench, which is also, but this is a very important part to really fuel our ambition of the divisions and of all of the every function to see and to really collaborate and work together for many initiatives. And I think there's a lot of new to come in the future. As he said, we also have for tomorrow Wolfgang Wiggel, our global CFO, visiting our global business services center in Bangalore, because we're also very keen to see what the team is doing there. So looking forward to that, and I'm sure it will be another good showcase of all the things we're doing here in South Asia. Now, on the last slide for my short working is to give you an insight of what we've been doing with the CFO function. And that we have highlighted a couple of points here. So what I would really like to mention is in the terms of digitalization. So we are getting a lot of momentum in seeing how we can streamline things, how we can implement a dashboard, how we can generate much more insight with all of the data that is available. And one thing that I'm particularly proud of that we recently launched this dashboard, which will give us much deeper insight into the financial performance of our business company, ETSS. And the important part here is not only that we're using it for analysis, but we are also using this for discussions with our stakeholders, in this case with our board of directors. And what the team is currently doing is that we are setting up a community within our region for people who are really interested in driving things like Power BI, RPA, and so on forward, where we can make sure we learn from each other and also have then some achievements together when it comes to digitalization. The last thing for India is that we also roll out our CFO Vision 2025 this year, and we are very much focusing our past vision on ensuring working for free, and of course also continue that we have very engaged talent in our team. From Pakistan, one thing to mention here is that the team launched also digital connection initiative with Citibank or Comline customers, which will have a much faster and much more efficient collection of our customers. So very proud to also report on that. Now, having said that, I would like to hand over to Rachna to give an overview of what's happening in communications and public affairs.
Hi everyone, it's always exciting to talk about a team which works on the reputation of the company. While the businesses are doing a fantastic job in terms of numbers, Compass team, which is communications, public affairs, sustainability, and the CSR teams, are working very closely with different stakeholders to build the reputation of the company. So what is very interesting is the BA team continues to very strongly engage with the industry forums. And we talked about mustard, GM mustard, and also the glyphosate issues. There are enough issues in the market that we are dealing with. And that is where the engagement with different stakeholders becomes extremely important. So the BA team continues to engage with each of them. And there are, normally we don't get to see that, all of us don't get to see that very often. But this is not an easy task, but the team really holds the fort very well. In terms of communications, I must tell that over the last couple of months, you would have seen very good coverage in the Tier 1 media. We had Vijay Sagar, the global CIO's coverage in the Economic Times. We had Lee's article as we talk right now in Business India. We've had a very good mention of our presence in COP27 out of Egypt, where Matthias talks about climate change and various sustainability issues. That's been covered in Economic Times. So the Indian media is looking at what Bayer is doing globally and locally. And this is very well covered in the Tier 1 media. Even in the regional media, I think we've been very, very active. So you see a lot of vertical media covering us. And as we talk, you see the numbers here, we've had around 71% of positive coverage, and and 21 neutral. When we say 29 neutral, when we say neutral, which means these are industry stories. And thankfully, no negative news directly targeted to buyers. So that's a big one for us in communications. The other part is engaging with the communities. And I must give it to Sarita and team. They've done a fantastic job in terms of engaging with around 50 to 60 NGOs. And we recently had a partner meet, which really went off very well. And we could hear from these NGOs who talked very positively about the impact of the CSR work that is being done. And also we had other companies like Safale who actually came in and talked about the partnership with Bayer. And I think that's a big one to take away from the stakeholders. And lastly, I would say the sustainability story continues very strong here. We will be continuing to participate in more and more activities. And as I had told in my last town hall, January 2023, we are going to be talking about the Run Blue campaign. We're going to run around 7 cities, and I'm going to request all of you to actively participate in this run. So that's the update from Compass. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, for those details, and thanks for talking about Compass. Dean, thank you so much for your overview. I think you brilliant overview as well. And thanks to Simon. I mean, we can't see him there anymore, but I mean, he gave a really good deep dive on this. Now moving on to our next session, which is a very exciting one and a very interesting one. We have A. Harish, our country group HR head, to talk about something which is very interesting, and he will also be later on joined by two of his colleagues to talk about it. Tulika and Dipani. Harish, over to you to talk about the HR initiatives.
Can you hear me? So I quickly correct this culture, not so much about it, about it, because the all function happen. So with that, since perhaps last day Biden has been ordered one of the best for women. One of you can be proud of that. So, just a small thing, ready for fabulous voice and participate. Is that working? All right. So the employee voice survey, as Dee mentioned, 87% participation is outstanding. We also retained our overall engagement score at 4.1. Whether 2,000 people participate or 4,000 people participate, our number seems to be really solid. That same number, 4.1. Now we want to make that move forward. That's where the entire story for us in the journey going forward will be. There's one more slide after this, which speaks about the commitment of the salt. If at all we want to make a few things happen, we want to stay committed to making Bayer South Asia an organization where each one of us feels truly empowered to make decisions. So that's one area where we've got feedback. Yes, there is global feedback, but also for us, consistently the feedback is how can we make it simpler, easier, and more empowering for each colleague to make decisions in this country. And that is where we are going to really be working upon. Having said this, in the next slide, we also ran another survey around our hybrid model. And that also got very good participation with over 1,500 people participating in that. Overall feedback is our present formula is working. For most people, this seems to be all right. So therefore, our intention as the SALT is to continue what we're doing. If there are any issues for any individuals, please talk to your managers and please work it out. But overall, the company seems to be fine with the present arrangement that we have. This survey also will be posted on the intranet. Please go through the details. Okay, we now speak about ESP. This is the area, this is the action that we want to move the needle on our culture. There are several transformation programs that are happening across Bayer, all of you are aware. True North now in pharma, Perform, Transform, which has been picked up as the theme in crop science, Fit to Win in consumer health, Bio 22 Plus on the platforms, and all across there are transformation programs that are happening. But we believe that a one Bayer culture which enhances these transformational efforts will be doing the unifying efforts for all of us. And that is where we want you to know about this program called ESP Leader at Bayer. You see the next slide, we've identified 5 pillars that are going to actually move our cultural transformation journey forward. Performance excellence, talent development. We have stated that we want to be the best company in the world related to talent development of our people. Inclusion and diversity. Truly inclusive organization. Yes, we have done a lot. We have many good examples. I just gave one yesterday. I should also read out those 4 top Life Award nominations that have gone from South Asia. Actually, it's a very proud moment. You should all put your hands together. All 4 have reached the global final round. So maybe I take a moment to read this out. Preserve the uterus. You will remember the video. The medley, which was the inclusion one from the GBS. The flexibility one on digitalization through SAP through COA, which came from the quality control team, and the everyday efficiency one, which came from the rice product delivery team, R&D India. So these 4 have made it to the global finals, and let's wait and watch how it goes. Of course, we will have our own local celebrations for it as soon as the Life Awards are announced. The last 2, those 2 pillars, future of work, you heard a little bit about a hybrid, and governance, which is structures and decisions, is the one that we will be able to talk about in a moment with a few practical tips on how each of our teams can actually make a difference. You see for the ESP Leader at Bayer program, you see at the bottom, more than 300, which is 55% of people managers, people leaders have actually signed up for this program. It's a global program we're running with ILD. And that should be able to propel our culture, because people leaders, each one of you people leaders can actually make that needle move. Now, it's not only the people leaders, but also the team, which has a very important role to play. And let's take just this one topic of decision making. And I invite my colleagues, Kulika and Deepali, to come on stage to talk a little bit about this hashtag wow practice. Ways of working.
Thank you, Harish. Hi, Kulika.
Employee voice service more than just master. The commitment of thoughts to really empower us, I think, is really a too strong block that is, that will lead us to a very strong organization.
I think you started on a very perfect note. So it is wow, right? Hashtag wow are the ways of working for all of us, as we might have heard. These are very simple practices that are anchored in our life values, which help us to create empowered and very effective teams, and also have an overall culture of collaboration.
That's right. I think from this bundle of practices, I think that decision right is the most apt to actually increase the empowerment quotient in the organization. It actually provides a very simple framework to identify different levels of decision authority across teams and projects. And here, even the team has full scope to take decisions for the shifts.
That's right, but all of us face certain situations where we are not very clear as to which decision is taken by the sponsor of the project or leader of the team, and which decision can be taken by the team themselves, right? So it's kind of a messy middle situation.
Yeah, Dipali, I think it is not so messy as we make it so. See, if the boss gives very clear direction to the team and calls out who is the person who is going to take the shots, what are the guiding principles, what is the key information that can be shared, and also, what is safe to try, I think then our lives become very easy. And we also have less emails to read in our inbox, less meetings, and hence work happens faster in the organization.
If that happens, then life really becomes good. But we all have attended meetings which run to take one decision. There are several meetings that we attend. We also get into conversations which are never ending to align our stakeholders. So all of that really can be addressed with the practice of decision rights. Decision rights as a practice very clearly says that if you can clarify who takes which decision, then life becomes simpler for all of us. We can actually focus on and agree on within the team to say that. So for example, leader can say that, I would like to get involved in budgeting and target segmentation for a particular campaign, but internal timelines, which vendor to work with, how do you really communicate to each other, all of that can be decided by a team. So having that kind of clarity for decision making can really help us to pass on the empowerment to the team, and that is something that decision rights as a practice can help us with. There are other two practices that can also help us in this regard. So when we talk about even overs is all of us like to take decisions, but there are certain tough decisions that we need to take, right? So whether to decide progress or whether to decide whether speed, how do we decide on that? Whether we look for perfection or we look for speed and progress. Those are the kind of decisions that even overs as a team can decide with certain tactics. For example, a team can really decide to say that if there is a challenging situation or if the team sees certain red flags for a particular project, then they will share it with full transparency with the entire project team without really having a fear of being judged, without really having a fear of being questioned as to why they are raising so many concerns. And that is a tactic that the team can really agree upon, and that will help us to have progress over perfection. So even overs as a tactic can help us there. Safe to try is another practice which can really help us taking good decisions. In real life, a lot of times we don't have 100% information available with us. There are still gray areas, we don't still know exactly how the situation will pan out. And as a team, we may also have some dissenting voices. So safe to try as a practice enables us to ask that question, what are the repercussions? Is it safe to try? Although I might have 80% of clarity about this, but is it really safe to try? And if the answer to that is yes, then the team progresses. And that is again, progress over perfection. We can always go back, get the feedback, do the iterations, but we keep moving in that entire process. So these are a few practices which can really help us on decision rights, decision making.
Yeah, and to share one more example with all of you, this org chart is really familiar, right? This really works when we are operating in a scenario where there is a lot of certainty around, which is a myth, actually. In the real world, we are actually working in a VUCA world, right? Where the situations keep changing on a very fast speed. We are not able to take the final decisions based on whatever information is flowing from top to bottom to up. So what happens is that we are actually navigating through different layers in the organization, which actually hampers the speed and we are not able to take decisions on a certain time. So I think the best way to look at this is to follow the practice of safe to try, decision rights, and even overs. And the best thing is that we have to trust the person which is closest to the job, because he or she will know what works best there. And once the management trusts the person, I think work is going to be much simpler and happen much more.
Absolutely. There is simple empowerment formula that can help all of us actually. So the sponsor or the leader really gives the direction to the entire team. After that direction is given, there is a lot of trust about the capability of the team. required information, expertise can be shared. There could be very clearly called out guardrails which basically define a framework within the team can operate. So that there are not, there's no ambiguity or less ambiguity and multiple meetings are not required, we can move forward with progress. With all of that, of course, the ongoing feedback loop is something that we need to create so that course corrections can be done in a very timely manner and we reduce risk for business. But if we are able to do all of this definitely helps us to get more empowered as a team. It just helps us to give more accountability to the work that we are doing and also take a lot of satisfaction because ultimately we are taking the decision and we feel empowered to really come to office and work on a regular basis. So that's something that all of us can really try and apply. Harish, do you think this is safe to try for us as a team?
Thank you, Deepali and Tulika. So you shared with us some tips and tricks which every team can really try, and that would be my encouragement. I move to the next segment. Just one moment before we invite Arjun back again. Is you must have seen that we've launched the Innovation Day, the campaign for the Innovation Day. So please participate in that. There are a lot of good prizes to win. Throw in your challenges and let's all solve those challenges together because failing is not an option. It is an opportunity. Yeah, it's actually something that actually propels us forward. So let's see what are the difficult things that we have, solve those problems. Please come back again, Arjun. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Harish. I think, as you said, a very interesting session on cultural transformation and obviously a wow session from Tulika and Deepali. Thank you so much. We are almost in the middle of our session, and I just wanted to remind a very interesting and feature which is there in the invite, which is coming. There is a link on which you can click and you can put in your questions. So just a general reminder that this forum is also for questions. So please feel free to add in your questions. As soon as we reach the end of some of the sessions that are going to happen, we will have a Q&A session separately where all the thought leaders will be answering your questions. So please go ahead. Now moving on to the next session which is there. It's a very interesting session. Two of my colleagues will come and talk about something which is sort of transform the way that smallholders actually look at and we look at agriculture, from our side. First, of course, is a technological innovation which has been there for quite some time, but Bayer has been a leader in that space in terms of bringing it to India and actually putting it on the ground for commercial use, actually into the air for commercial use. So it's drones, and the other, of course, is the great benefits that are coming from collectivization and how we are collaborating with the government to do that. So first, I will invite Dinesh Sharma to talk about drones. He's the one who's leading the drone initiative for Bayer. Dinesh?
Is it working? Yeah. Thank you, Arzi. Very good afternoon, everybody. See, drone technology fundamental benefits are huge. I mean, they are actually addressing the pain points of smallholders that are there. Being efficient, being safe, being sustainable, and digital compatibility makes it really potential technology to transform agriculture. Okay. This project is very challenging. A fairly new topic to discuss, but exemplary work of team that has been gone behind this team, and great support by leadership team, Harish, let me tell you, and the empowerment to take decisions. Yeah, we took tough decisions, we took risky decisions, and that is why we are here and posting ourselves at the stage where we are. So can we have the next slide, please? See, as I said, it's a fairly new topic. Right from advocacy to execution, Bayer has maintained its leadership position. And sheer collaboration between cross-functional teams. We have secured seat at all the platforms that mattered. Yeah, contributed with all technology excellence there, and came out as a real contributor for this, even policy guidelines as well. And on action side, real good work by commercial teams, and we are proudly, I mean, it's a proud moment for every Bayer, right? That Bayer Crop becomes the first agrochemical company to announce commercial operations of drone spraying. Yeah, so that was huge. Now this technology is being supported by Government of India. We all know there's a mind behind this technology coming from India. We aim to become a global hub by 2030, a global drone hub. And as buyer, we also want to leverage our capabilities and we want to have our position maintained in that technology as well, yeah, going forward. Can we have next slide, please? So these are the footprints that we have got. Fairly new technology, guidelines, highly regulated space to operate in, but then together we have secured our license to operate. So we have best partners available in India with best technologies, approved machine, and it has to be DGC approved, yeah. So the approved machine partner is there. The machine needs to be flown by only certified and licensed pilots. So we have the approved certified licensed pilots also to run. Chemistry approval, yeah, CIP-RC approval was required. We took that also on time. All different approvals perfectly synchronizing to give license to operate in this space. Not only that, to give access to the technology to customer, we are ready with that access as well. Data integration, end-to-end, right from booking to delivery. That integration is also being done with prototype as of now, as we are in this stage. But then it's a real strength, gold mine of data on which we can really leverage and develop new solutions going forward. And compliant operational SOP, wherein everything is given as per the guidelines and we are doing that. Currently, we have footprint, 7 clusters in 7 states we are working with. Initially we started with rice, cotton and soybean, but we have added a couple of more crops to test, to develop our learnings and capability and really move towards developing new solutions. Can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. So to develop new solutions for our smallholders, a couple of things that are there on our priority at this point in time, like execution experience, the operational efficiency and customer delight. That is what we're looking at this point in time as we move work in the field going forward. Development and differentiation is another aspect that where we are working. So not only from current solution, increasing our horizon from application standpoint, but bringing in imaging capabilities to give real integrated solution and real potential of this technology to smallholders. And that would also be a differentiated approach when this market gets clustered going forward. Expertise of this entire ecosystem so that we truly can benefit our smallholders that are there or our rural entrepreneurs to really support them in whatever way they need our support. Building our partnerships, whether it's machine requirement, technology, technical training requirement, the business support requirement, compliance requirement, financing needs, we are building partnerships to really give them the support which they require to develop this solution. So that we can give best solutions to our farmer, earning opportunity to our entrepreneurs, and good business case for ourselves as well. I mean, while we remain sustainably, we remain committed to our sustainable and safety goals as well going forward. So that's what we are aiming for. Can we have next slide? And that's a team, not the core team who's working. So we have started strong and looking forward for greater collaborations now from here on as well. And power to take more decisions and keep us ahead of the curve. Yeah. Thank you so much. I would like to call upon Rajesh to talk about FPOs now. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dinesh. Now I'm coming to the topic of collectivization. It's a very old practice. It started in 50s as a cooperative movement, and because of some reason its format is changed and getting momentum after 2002-03 when the company act was amended, especially for FPOs. And now coming to the point, what is FPO? Because many of us are not knowing. And this is a group or aggregation of farmers coming together under a legal entity to mitigate challenges of fragmented land holding and pursue common interest of increasing farming income. 3 clear objectives you can understand visualize in the definition itself: mitigating challenges of fragmented land holding and the farming income increase and getting scale in the agriculture. And there are 2 types of FPOs in the country, one which is registered as a FPC under registrar of companies like our company, and second is registered as a society, and that is cooperative format and controlled by NCDC, National Cooperative Development Corporation in India. And for FPC and all kind of FPOs, both format you can name as FPO, and the entire country, the nodal agency which control entire regulation, guideline, everything is SFAC. SFAC is Small Farmer Agribusiness Consortium, and recently begun through an MU also. And as of now, around 25,000 FPOs are registered, and 1.2 crore 12 million farmers are as a member of these FPOs, and around 9,000 are in import business, is growing very fast. And good part is that the rate of collectivization is increasing very fast. In 19 it was around 7,900. Now it is almost double, 3 times growth. And by 2027, it's estimate from all the policy maker and government people that total number of FPO in the country will be 75,000, and around 20 to 25% of farmers will be part of some of them. That's and the advantage of this FPO, the 4 key points I am covering here, but there are a lot. And one is reaching extended grower connect. For example, we are taking target of reaching 10 million farmers by 2025 by connecting 10,000 FPOs outlets. And also we can drive the farm mechanizations through custom hiring center, because FPOs are getting a lot of financial support under the Agri Infrastructure Fund, and already we are working on this. And sustainability and gender smart goal is also here. A lot of FPOs run by women, and also some carbon farming trade companies are also coming connecting the FPOs. That is also a good place to work on this topic. Another important goal we can achieve connecting to the governments, because this is the most common topic. If you want to talk any government person, you can start your dialogue with talking about FPOs, even at district level, central level, and state level. This is all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rajesh, and thank you, Dinesh. I would like to now invite Deva to talk about Deva to you.
Slide, please. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues. I'm here to talk about compliance, a very important topic, and it's a topic I feel very passionate about. And we've been hearing all the business successes that we've been having just before this. But I also want to talk a little bit about how compliance plays into all of this. I think to me, compliance really connects very well with earning trust, and that leads us to company's reputation. If you see Werner Bauman's statement, it's also on similar lines, which is that he talks about earning society's trust. If you don't have that trust, you cannot be successful as a business. So that's very important. And how we do it is really with our life values. We do it with our compliance framework, and that's what brings it together. And all of us contribute to running Bayer as a compliant, successful, sustainable business. Next slide. So there are 10 principles of business conduct that help us ensure that we are running a compliant organization. Now it looks like a lot is there, but it's there for a reason. And some of this is pretty familiar stuff. So for example, integrity in business dealings, that I think we all get. So it's very straightforward. Fairness and respect at work, another one, very straightforward, very important. But then, as businesses have grown, become more complex, the world has become much more sort of integrated with each other. There are new laws, new regulations that are coming in. One of them is data protection, data privacy. It's a very complicated subject, but I'm happy to say that we have, the kind of capabilities that are required to help navigate large global complex businesses like Bayer. Another area is trade sanctions. Now this is again, in a time where you have global conflict in countries like Ukraine, what's happening with Russia, there are a lot of obligations that are coming in. How we move goods across borders, how payment mechanisms work, all of this requires a very strong framework of compliance, and all of this has to work, because if your payment gets stuck one place, it can have a cascading effect all over. So it's very important, all of this will not apply to every one of us, but rest assured, our training programs are connected based on roles, and therefore it's very important for all of us to complete any of these trainings that are assigned to us. At the same time, if you feel you have any questions, any problems you want to talk about, we have the NPC Express teams. You can actually write to them, you can get an opinion. They can tell you exactly what your problem is and what the solution is. Please do not take steps on your own, because the risk of violating any of these rules is going to have a huge impact on Bayer's reputation. So I just wanted to sort of say that very clearly and offer my own help, support, whatever you needed at this forum to everyone in Bayer. I know this is all very serious stuff, but rest assured we've done other not so serious stuff. We can also have a little bit of fun. So last week we celebrated the compliance day, and we had quite a bit of fun, but also a lot of commitment, because we tied in into a very educating framework. So we have T here, you can see spinning the wheel, and well, congratulations to you, got all the answers right. Simon. Well, I think we had quite a bit of fun, but I think we also used the opportunity to create awareness on compliance. We also recognized and felicitated colleagues who have been doing a great job on Be Comply, which, as many of you would be aware, it's a legal compliance tool, and that's been working very well. We also, along with the local team, conducted training on various topics, particularly anti-corruption, and it's amazing that 800 participants were there, which is quite a record, at least by my own experience. So I think all in all, it's been a great week, and we did this not just in India, it was also there in Pakistan. So it just feels great to be here and talking about compliance. And well, I end by just again saying that I just want to thank everyone for making sure that we run a compliant Bayer and a compliant Bayer South Asia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reza. Thank you for those, compliance continues to be the most important factor for all of us. And now, coming to the last session, a very interesting one on self-care, and I would request Rajni to come in and talk about this, the whole campaign that has been going on this. Over to you.
Is that working? Yeah. Thank you, and a very good afternoon to everybody here in the room and joining us on the call. Delighted to be here today and share with you about the recently concluded Self-Care Challenge 2.0. This was a gamified 6-week-long holistic health challenge focused on building healthy lifestyle habits. And I, for one, had a lot of fun organizing it with the team, promoting it, and overall participating in it. So a big thank you to each of the 970 colleagues across South Asia who signed up for this challenge. Thank you. The challenge offered the opportunity to participate as individuals or in teams, and it is once again a testimony to the team spirit at Bayer that close to 50% of the participants chose to be in teams. That said, signing up for anything is the easy part, right? But following through is difficult. And I'm proud to share that their team Bayer did a fantastic job. We had 72% engagement throughout the 6 weeks of the challenge, which is double the industry benchmark for such engagement. And that means that 3 out of 4 participants who were in the challenge tracked their daily food intake or their calorie consumption, their water consumption, the steps taken, and the overall calories burnt daily in the mobile app over a 6-week period. And overall, Team South Asia took enough steps to go 3 trips around the earth, which in itself is no mean feat. And many of us shared interesting stories about how the challenge motivated us to be better versions of ourselves. We met our weight goals. Many of us got fitter over the 6 weeks. So it was a great program. And that is about all the participants, but then there are the champions, right? The people who go the extra mile, or in this case maybe a few extra 100 kilometers. So, and here I'm really proud and privileged to share the winners of the Self-Care Challenge 2.0. In the individual category, well deserved. So in the individual category, we have Shweta Chavan in the first place, Mamta wins the second prize, and Vamsi Krishna is in the third place. So congratulations, winners. You are all our role models. And in the teams category, we have 5 prizes. The names are on the screen. Congratulations to each and everybody in the team. Kudos to your team spirit, to your commitment to health. You really inspire all of us. Well, that is the end of the challenge. The challenge will end, but the health journey must continue for each one of us. And I would like to really take this opportunity to remind all of you about the 3 health offerings, among all the others, of course, that we will bring to you, that will continue well into 2023 as well. The first one is the digital health wallet, which was rolled out in India in October. Please avail of that facility to do your annual health checkups and avail of all the other benefits that are covered under that facility. The second one is the Employee Assistance Program, or the EAP, a 24/7 service available to you, teleconsulting. Please reach out to them for any of your challenges and get solutions. And the third one is the energy workshops. So these workshops are interactive sessions focused on holistic health. And we have done these workshops with close to 4,000 participants across globally. We have done many of these workshops within the South Asia teams as well, the consumer health team, the GPS team, and many other teams, the RCP conference, that had a fantastic response to these energy workshops. So if you have not participated in this workshop, a call out to all the team leaders to please reach out to us. We would be happy to schedule this workshop for you at your own convenience. Coming back to the winners, we will not just end with this applause. Your well-deserved prizes, sponsored by Supradin Immunoplus, are on their way to you. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you to the Consumer Health team for sponsoring this. Right. So, on this note, I would like to say that in 2023, let us all aim to step up, prioritize our health, and make sure that each one of us participates in at least one meaningful health activity in line with our vision of health for all. I would like to leave you with that thought. Thank you very much for your time. Stay safe, stay healthy and happy. Thank you.
Thank you at this point, well taken on participation, and congratulations to all winners. Now, of course, we come to one of the most much awaited and exciting part of our session, which is a Q&A session. I would like to invite all the thought leaders to kindly come onto the podium so that we can start the Q&A session.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah.
But they said that the top of moped is what nowadays Lokapandar spaces the 3 hours.
Yeah.
That should be onward, Lokapandar.
Yes. Right. Then මොකද වෙන්නේ? ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. තව එකක් ගේන්න කිව්වද නෑනේ? Alright, okay.
But they have registered me as Lokapandar one name.
කමන්නේ නැහැ නේ. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. No problem, don't worry. මල්ලගේ තියෙන්නේ. Alright, ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ.
Thank you to all those who
do the exam, we will sort it out. Don't worry about that now.
Session.
There is not an issue.
Questions are coming in fast and thick, and they usually do.
You get it as a
yes. Please the first question to you, because it's an overarching question. The question is this year was the first one after COVID where things tended to move towards a bit of normalcy. When you look at the next year now, because we're going to move into the next year very quickly, how do you see the next year panning out for Bharat as a whole and overall for the country?
Yeah, that's a great question. The way I see it is, at a fundamental level, we are going to enter 2023 with a very strong tailwind, especially with the kind of momentum that we have, okay, in all our businesses. Obviously, a lot of it also, to a large extent, will play out based on the geopolitical situation that is going on. If I take crop science, for example, and Simon can chime in here as well, one of the biggest challenges being the whole disruption of the global supply chain and our costs, especially our cost of production and the way we have our footprint, right? So, and that itself leads to challenges as to how we're going to price the product, how we're going to recover the value, but in the context of our ability to, pricing the product from a customer standpoint, right? Because it's also going to the marketplace as well. So clearly for us, we are going in with strong momentum, but clearly cognizant that there is a world out there which is still yet to fully recover from all the disruptions that have taken place, including the geopolitical challenges of Ukraine, Russia, etc. The second piece, and this is where all of us, I would say, we have to be really diligent and get really focused on, the overall cost of running business has increased exponentially, right? All of us travel, right? All of us travel. You just look at inflation. There are so many factors that is clearly now that we've come back to normalcy, and it is comparing this to be a normal year pre-COVID, and now the cost escalation is significant. So I think that is where as teams we have to be cognizant and say that look, in COVID we learned the art of virtual. Now the question is, how does the whole hybrid structure work definitely to manage the cost, right? Otherwise, you will have a clearly out of place position in terms of competitiveness and also profitability. That is the second factor. And I think the third and the most important factor, I would think, for us in this region, apart from the global piece, is the whole environment for food, health and nutrition, especially I would call out if I look at India today or Bangladesh or Pakistan. Yes, there are some challenges in Pakistan on the political and socio-economic environment, but the fundamentals of food, health and nutrition are absolutely strong. A lot of government support, a lot of government focus, which I think will continue in 2023, which we need to leverage as we build out, as we look at the business and start building out. And I'll invite Simon and Sandeep also to chime in, because this clearly is something, you can share your views as well.
Yeah, I think you said it all. I think what's important is this region is getting different, what can I say, it's looked at differently in a global context. And that is not just us as a company, but really you see a lot of shifts in focus. Is it because of how we managed through COVID? Is it because of what Dee was mentioning, the war between Russia and Ukraine? Is it potentially also where does China stand in the view of Western countries? And
that same lady was there?
Positive underlying
no problem.
Spirit.
Yeah, okay.
And will definitely also boost economies here.
Bye.
100% convinced of that.
Come on, man, no, not a big issue. There are ways to do that. Don't worry.
To cope with.
Only thing is, if they allow you to do the exam, that's my concern. Now registered, no issue. Okay.
And that's something.
Come on, no, there is the same. We have an affidavit.
Also in light of the fact that
identical
specifically glyphosate.
No problem. We have an affidavit.
This year will be on.
Okay. We have submitted an affidavit.
So that's the type of environment that we're in. That means we need to be very prudent. Using a little bit the wow, we are currently clearly saying 23 over 22. So we must look at how do we ensure that we get the best out of the start into the next year, right? Especially from a calendar year perspective, when I look at it from a crop science view. I'm not so sure how it's with the other subgroups, but for crop science, this is very, very clear. So for us, it's now about 6 weeks' time to get our act together, to clean ourselves a little bit, to really think of what will position us to get out of the starting blocks best from literally the 1st of January. So that's why you might be seeing that we're potentially delaying certain decisions on hiring, that we're potentially looking at, is our structure the way it is today really the right one to start a successful 2023 season? And where do we already today potentially take calls and say, you know what, we don't have the money to invest at this point. Now we can.
हाँ चाय प्लीज चार 4:30 बुला लेते okay team we are breaking for the tea break now and we will be reassemble at 4:24.
Guys, you can go for tea. Please start mobilizing. Check. Okay, so here we stand. This is the leaderboard for the pre-session. Now we move forward from this point. Hina is at number 1 position. We are just ignoring that. Gaurav, Sangram and Mukesh and Yogi are fighting. Okay, so we move forward. So we are on question number 7. Okay guys, fasten your seat belts. Here we go. The faster you answer, the more points you get. Which crop contributes almost 50% business of fungicide in India? So it's a combination of crops. Ice, chili, potato, rice. Any guesses? Parthaji, please help the audience. Physical. Oh, good. Hey, can we close that door, please? So let's see how the leaderboard stands. Yogi and Ambika Prasad have scored well in this. Hina, you missed out this question, kya? So Yogi, Hina and Gaurav. And Just continues to just lead. Question number 8. Here we go. The faster you answer, the more points you get. Which is a new fungicide that has planned higher business value to be launched during 2025-27? You get 15 seconds to answer this. Any help, Parthaji? Zahur, please help. Prem? Give a random answer. Before time. Wow. Okay, Gaurav, Doraemon. Hey, it's me. Gaurav, well done. Gaurav had complaints about network yesterday, but he's doing pretty well today. He's fixed his network problems. Question number 9. Here we go. Upcoming product for rice flight management. And this is a tough one. Zahur, any answers, any guesses? Nilesh, can you help the crowd? Which is the correct answer? Time up. Oh wow, everyone knows this, huh? Awesome. So let's see the leaderboard. Ambika wins this one. Superb. Just is finally at number 3. So Gaurav, Hina and Dori. So we have a new colleague, Doraemon. Who's he? Okay, question number 10. Here we go. Focus guys. The faster you answer, the more points you get. I cannot pronounce this word. Can you give the answers also? Help the audience. Pretty complicated. Oh wow, everyone knows this. Superb. Awesome. So let's see the leaderboard. Hina was faster than everyone else. Superb. What a fight. Gaurav and Hina. 7269, 7219. Doraemon, please identify yourself. Paging service for Doraemon, please identify. Okay, question number 10. Expected year of launch in India. Any guesses, Parthaji? Priya can answer this. Priya, any guesses? Which year? Oh my God, you got it wrong. Oh. Okay, let's see who was okay, Sanjana was faster. Hina was also good. Doraemon is picking up. Doraemon at number 2. Great. Yogi, come on, buck up. Ambika, Gaurav. So this is the final question. Last attempt. Please go for it. Here we go. The faster you answer, the more points you get. CS 2022 sales expected. Prem, please help us with this. Prem is actually helping Anudit, huh? Oh my God. Superb. 15. So we finally see the leaderboard and then we hand over to Prem. Thank you, Prem, for all the time. Okay, Doraemon missed this. Gina, 9,136 points. Thank you very much. Thank you, online audience. Thank you, Prem.
Ravi, thanks for engaging both online and offline. Okay, welcome back, all of you. Okay, so let me quickly share my next presentation on fluoxypiprolene. This is a regional project. Quickly, I would request Ganesh, if you are there, on the background of this project.
All our agents are still occupied.
You're occupied? Ganesh? Okay.
Yes, hi, Prem.
Hi, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So again, yes, this is the other objectives for the fluoxypiprolene project, basically Zivana. And this is mainly to prepare ourselves considering the launch that we expected from now onwards with the different countries. And as we know, the potential risk with the fluoxypiprolene we see considering the resistance management, and that's how we want to really make sure that we should promote this as with a potential mixing partner for the strong resistance management. So initially, when we were developing this, there was a big timeline between the solo and the ready-to-use formulation. But I think in case of India now, this timeline is quite reduced. This is just 6 months. So in case of India, still it makes sense to really go with ready-to-use formulation, because the solo versus the ready-to-use formulation, the timeline difference is not so big. I think just 6 months. But still, in case of other country, and I think this is mainly because the timeline for solo registration, it is a bit delayed. That's why this mixture difference between solo and the mixture timeline, it is reduced. But we were trying to prepare ourselves. Still, in case if something happens for mixture development and further delay, so that we can also prepare ourselves to promote this as a tank mix solution, and in some of the countries still this can be used as a co-pack solution. So initially we tried this with a potential mixing partner like propionate we have in our portfolio, but there was also some question around that we should also check with several options that can be really fit into the different segment like downy mildew and lead blight.
Okay.
So basically we have two options here, propionate and Fossetil from our portfolio, and also Mancozeb, still commercial team interested to really promote this based on the local pharma practices. So here we are trying to understand which is the better option, propionate versus Fossetil mainly in the different target segment. Technically we see propionate more fits into the lead blight segment, which is Phytophthora, and Fossetil is more in the downy mildew segment. But let's see the technical performance, and based on that, this is offering a choice that will be the better option to promote as a tank mix. But I think still it's worthwhile to check this, in spite of having that India may be launching this instead of solo with a ready-to-use formulation of lupicolide. But let's see these results, and maybe this will be our further decision for the launch preparation point of view for the Zivana mixture.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
over to you, Prem.
Thank you, Ganesh. So before break, we have seen with the cyzophamide mixture in the global protocol against grapes and other crops. So now, as a regional and at cluster level preparedness, as Ganesh mentioned, so we are looking to tank mix with these available solutions that can fit into as a right tank mix partner. So here again, as mentioned, so there are 2 main doses of fluoxypiprolin as a solo, 15 and 20 gram AI in 2 and 3 treatments, and then you can see the tank mix of propineb, which is anthracol, and again mixed with mancozeb, and then mixed with fostel, and then the acrobat, which is dimethomorph and mancozeb. So this is the protocol for this project, and the first project that we will look into is potato. So maybe I will go take you through, and this was again conducted in Rabi in West Bengal and in UP, and whereas in case of Kharif we explored in Uti location. So Lokesh has conducted a very nice trial. Again we have gone through both physical and also the virtual tour. This one basically we have observed in this heavy pressure situation of Phytophthora. So basically phosphatile was coming up very excellently, but we know that the advantage and strong performance or contribution of phosphatile, and if you compare with the cost effective low price products including anthracol or dithium 45, we observed that even anthracol was performing up to the satisfactory levels of the farmers. And one thing is that when we apply anthracol, propineb, so basically there is a very good greenish effect on the crop. Apart from the disease, we were able to see this particular USP when we combine with the fluoxypiprolin, so which makes very good attraction for the vegetable farmer. So here you can see all of our tank mix partners are pretty superior over the existing market standards. However, you can notice we have been given 4 sequential applications. So there was one question, are we really going to apply 4 applications together one by one? So of course it is not, but here being at a POC level, we were just cross checking our potential when we apply as a 4 application. It was really good. In the visuals you can see later, you can see the untreated plot completely vanished, swept away by the disease, whereas still our fluoxypiprolin solo also 15 gram AI and 20 gram AI are the drivers for controlling this disease, and the tank mix partners are really coming up well. You can see the luxurious growth of the potato crop over there. And again, in the last one is the acrobat, the market standard. You can see almost 100% incidence and 60% of the severity of the disease. And this is how and again very nice trials in the hilly side. Thanks Lokesh for the very quality trials and clear confirmations of dry season data with wet season data. And next, the same project, if you look in cucumber, so same protocol. Here you can see we have gone with the propineb and mancozeb and Elliot with again acrobat and dithium 45 as a external standard here. And this was conducted again in Karnataka area, and also Priyanka, then Nilesh has done in MP, and then Vinayaka. So probably I will request Priyanka to share her experience, probably her first field trial out of Innovation Hub.
Hi, good evening everyone. So in case of cucumber downy mildew, the efficacy, the results that we are seeing of FXN is slightly different than what we saw in potato late blight. So let me first take you through the untreated. As you can see here, the graph is clearly depictive in itself that the overall trend of disease progression is escalating, and at the last observation recorded, that is at 14th DAD, that is 14th days after 4th application, the disease severity was somewhere around 50 to 55%, and under such disease severity, what we can see here is that the combination, the performance of FXN along with this mixing partner, that is the propineb, is performing excellent and giving an excellent efficacy. that is at its highest dose, that is 20 and 1050 gram AI, which was seen to be at par with its mixing partner, that is Mancozeb. FXN and Mancozeb at 20 and 1500 gram AI again, and which was seen to be slightly superior over the treatment combination of FXN and versatile aluminium, that is Aliate, at 20 and 1600 gram AI. And what we see here is that almost all the treatments are superior over the market standard, that is Acrobat and Dithin M45 or Mancozeb M45, and except for the solo of FXN at 15 gram AI, which was seen to be at par, almost at par with the market standard. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Priyanka. Basically, you can see there is a almost equal floors there. The buildings are same, but when we are in the field, we can see that slight, differences. It's always challenging to be presenting in that kind of, significant data. But at our level, across these 4 locations, you can see all the consistency of these locations where propineb really coming up well as compared to, of course, Acrobat in the given condition and the available molecules. Definitely propineb and Mancozeb can be a potential tank mix partners in this case for cucumber. Whereas for potato, again, propineb we can able to recommend as a tank mix partner as compared to Mancozeb, right? And the judgment rating, you can see it talks about the same. Here the opportunity that we have with Mancozeb and propineb across these 4 locations. Here are some pictures. You can see the solos here as compared to potato, Phytophthora. In this case, in cucumber, the solos are slightly lower than the mixtures. So that's how it's clearly coming with the crop as well as the, the target disease. Here again, you can see the very good greenish effect between this and this with the low and high dose. And Vinayaka has observed, yeah, Vinayaka, you can share probably your one of the observations.
So in treatment number, wherever the antracol is there, we can see in the photographs. So some early flowering and early fruit setting we observed with very good greenish effect. And so what it can add value in terms of the pickings is that early 2 to 3 pickings, it can really offer a very good value to the farmer. So this PG effects we observed in other set of tomato trials in the same protocol as well. Yeah.
Thanks, Vinayaka. So morning also we have
Maybe
seen.
one point to Vinayak, that's all.
Vinayak.
Early fruit flower set and the fruit set is a good point, but what is the assumption that when you're making it can give 2 or 3 pickings more?
Yeah.
Do we have a data or it's only our assumption?
Yeah, the trial is still in the field, sir. So we will continue that.
My request is don't conclude anything in between an early setting. You can stop that to that comment as well. Okay, particularly. Yield is many times depending upon these cucumbers, the flower setting and the fruit setting, and depending upon many factors and the yield parameters. Okay, let us wait for the details. Interesting to see if any yield improvement is in a good valuation. Thanks, Vinayak.
Are we observing those health benefits as part of experiment?
Yeah. In fact, we have extended to the yield level.
Okay.
As a phenotypically, whatever Vinayaka said, it's fine.
So
but I agree with
Is it based on just visual appeal walking in the plot, or it's based on some data assessments?
So it's basically visual and
Visuals.
also the number of root counts also. Basically we have seen the early setting of those ridge guards and all as compared to the Fosatile or Mancozeb. However, I agree with Satya's comment, and that's why immediately situationally we have been capturing the yield as well. So anyway, this particular.
Vinayak, only one more request. Maybe it is a tedious, but we very valid that one. Can we record the male and female flowers observations as well?
Sorry, I did not get.
Male and female flowers.
Oh, okay, we will do that, sir, and
Can we record in
we'll try.
documentation?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one we observed when we are during the field visit, Prem and me, we could able to notice this visually. And yield data, maybe in the next trials we can take that.
No, my request is, is it possible to record the male flowers and female flower observation?
Yeah, we'll try that one. Yeah.
So now I think already the crop is almost done 2 pickings.
Yeah, crop almost it's about to complete.
Okay, if you have a chance.
Prem, for the cocoa beans, it's very important to that one important observation.
Right.
Let us discuss the possibility of including in your observation parameters.
Sure. Yeah, sure, Satya. Yeah, agree. And these are the customer-based observations. I think we should incorporate, and we are also open to take them at our level as well. Apart from efficacy and selectivities and severity incidences kind of thing. Yeah. Thanks. So let me move to the tomato, the same project in late blight situation. Again, along with the Propineb and Mancozeb as a tank mix partners. So this was again conducted by Sangram and Vinayika in the late blight locations. So I request Sangram to come and join us to present these observations.
Yeah, thanks Prem. Good afternoon all. So here you can see in UTC pressure of disease was increased up to the more than 60% in UTC over the period of trial. So after third application it went up to more than 65%. So in this given situation you can see the combination of 61 plus anthracol at the rate of 20 plus 1050 gram AI is performing better, which equals to the higher dose of FXN plus M45 and also the FXN plus Fosatile as well, which is far superior than our market standard, that is Acrobat plus M45. And this market standard efficacy was matching with our Solo 61 as well.
Yeah. Any specific observations you could observe?
Yeah, actually Prem, at my location, this trial was conducted at 2 locations. One is at Karnataka and another one is at Maharashtra. So in my location, I could not able to pick any specific this one because of complex of disease, because of continuous rain we have observed. And you can see the lower side efficacy at my location. This is because of there is no sunshine we got at the time of applications as well. Very hardly we could able to get the window for application, and immediately cloudy weather used to be there. So systemic molecule could not able to perform at the level. So
sure, thanks Sangram. Otherwise the indications are really clear here as well. Again, Propineb and Mancozeb combinations are equally coming up with 80 and all are better than the market standards. And here the highest doses basically are coming up consistently as compared to the lower dose. But again, as a way forward, we are going to check this information in the Rabi season as well, in the next season. Whereas, using 75% of anthracol, what farmers are using as a solo application, can be, we are going to, check the dose response or dose, compositions that we can optimize for, making it as a tank mix combinations. So that's our next, upcoming, SH23 plan. So this is all about this project. If any questions are there, as we are already,
Prem, one quick, maybe Ganesh can comment.
Okay.
We are talking about tank mix with Propineb. In that case, are we planning for solo launch of Jivana?
Solo launch of?
Yeah, so this is the also question, Partha, from my side, like what we see the discussion in the chat box also, like the difference of solo launch, solo registration and a mixture with Lupipolite with just 6 months. So considering this scenario, I think it's always better to go with a ready-to-use formulation, and we have opportunity here because it will not be much delay. So considering that, I think maybe this is also we need to discuss with here, like crop manager Yogesh is there. If online, and then conclude. I think if we are going ahead with or decided that we will go with the Zivana Smart, so I think then we better focus on developing or further doing the trials with Zivana Smart instead of again exploring the potential mixing option. This was like our earlier plan to just check, because the timeline difference when we started developing solo versus mixture was pretty big, and that's why we had like planned to launch this as a solo. Solo means register as a solo but launch as a co-pack or tank mix option. But in case of India, this is not the situation. So considering things, I think ready-to-use formulation is the better choice.
Hey, Ganesh, Yogesh is not on the call. See, this is
Okay.
six months old discussions. I mean, let's be clear. This, and you know better than me, Ganesh. This molecule has challenge in terms of resistance buildup, and whatever I have understood about this class of chemistry, within 3 to 4 seasons of exposure, the biotypes would develop tolerance. Okay, and other players are not at all planning to launch it as a solo. There will be a combination for sure. So
that was first right from the beginning. Sorry, please complete.
yeah, I'm almost done, Satya. So let's from the technical point of view, that's the clarity. And please get it endorsed through the global folks as well if needed. But from technical point of view, the understanding is this molecule has this sensitivity around tolerance build up in the biotypes, so it does not make sense. Even if the launch gap between mixture and solo is 1 year, it really does not make sense to still launch the tank mix and promote tank mix, but that too in crops like what we are targeting on the label. So I mean, Yogesh is not here, and this is not a decision-making conversation here. But let's close that loop and move forward with the avoiding the solo launch in the country. Sorry, Satya, please.
Yeah, please. Mayank, this was right from the beginning very strong argument from the FS, even early stage of the development, not to launch solo. We always very strongly recommended. That's why very beginning itself we started with the combinations.
Right.
But the solo and launch and all, I think Srinath can give you a straight answer. What is the strategy behind that?
Right. So
He's
my
only focused us to launch solo combination with propinep, and then he has enough the solo registration process.
Right. So unless we are looking at identifying a mixture partner for a ready to use, my ask is please don't invest energy on doing this tank mixes combinations.
Yeah, this is absolutely a valid point, Mayank, because we were doing this because considering the scenario that mixture would be delayed by 4 or 5 years timeline difference between solo, and should we wait for such a long duration, like competition is also ahead of us. So that's why, and in other country also, if you just to give a scenario, there is a huge timeline difference between solo and mixture, maybe more than 6 or 7 years. So considering that, in that country it makes sense, but of course this is a commercial decision. But in case of India, I think I am with ready-to-use formulation for sure, technically. That's our recommendation.
Yeah. Ganesh, if you can follow up, I think in one of the Southeast Asian country or in China, there is some concern already. I don't know if in Europe, I can't recall. Oxathiopyprolin has started indicating that tolerance build-up in the biotype.
Yes, we have some reports, like not confirmed, but some indications from China.
Yes.
Where they have launched oxathiopyprolin. Yeah, sure. So we'll take this up, and maybe together with the crop team, we will conclude on this topic. But thanks for Prem for these insights, and this is very helpful to decide our strategy for the Zivana launch.
Zivana Smart launch.
Yes, Zivana Smart launch. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. And the similar things, of course, applicable for Bangladesh as well, because Bangladesh is, early than I think India has a solo launch. So, no. Okay, I think 2 years gap is there.
That communication should be clear for Bangladesh also, because the registration process is very fast.
Yes.
So we need to decide first.
Yeah. Okay.
So, colleagues, so we are now moving into another project, a flupiram and difenoconazole project, and here also I request Ganesh probably can throw us some light on the background of this project.
Yes, sure, Prem. Regarding this project, the reason behind developing this, because as we know there is a trade risk associated with the tebuconazole, especially for the export crops in EU, and that's why we were trying to identify the potential DMI replace TB. So in case of India, this was already approved project 2 years back, flupiram difenoconazole, based on because this was the existing formulation from the global. But in between there was second thought, should we also check some different DMI, which is basically next generation DMI. And in between we got some opportunity from BSF to test the third party compound like mefentrifluconazole, which we see as a next generation DMI, and that's how we tried to compare the performance of DFO versus MEZ, and at the same time we also had opportunity to check our internal phase 2 candidate, that is 735. So considering that, we tried to check the different DMI performance as a solo and also in mixture with flupiram, and then understand the real performance. But based on overall results which we did previously in the previous season, mefentrifluconazole, which was not so promising, and that's why then instead of really delaying the decision, we decided to really move ahead with the flupiram difenoconazole, which is already ready to use formulation, and also it helps considering the timeline for the development, because for next formulation development again this will delay by 2 to 3 years. And also there is a point or decision involved from the commercial angle, because the cost, considering the DFO versus MEZ, this is still DFO would be the better option for us compared to mefentrifluconazole, and that's why we are continuing with the flupiram plus difenoconazole as a project. Still we have some results from the previous season. This is really helpful to understand different DMI performance, and then also that will be helpful why we decided to really go ahead with the flupiram difenoconazole. One more point I would like to highlight here to bring the attention of everyone. Since we are developing this mixture, but this is not the similar as the mixture we have with the flupiram in this crop and segment like Luna families, basically Luna Experience and Luna Sensation. These are right now 1:1 formulation, 1:1 ratio, which is like dose rate point of view. If we see, it is 1:1, that is 100 plus 100 gram AI. But flupiram difenoconazole, it is 2:1 ratio. And considering this ratio, there are some challenges with flupiram rate. Like for a crop like grape, we have restriction that we cannot go beyond 100 gram AI of flupiram. So in that case, we have to restrict ourselves with a 50 gram AI of difenoconazole. And similarly, there is also some regulatory challenges that if flupiram is registered with range of 125 to 150, then we cannot really exceed more than that. But there are some targets, like in case of chili or grapes, that we are also looking for the anthracnose to be controlled with this solution. But I think there are certain challenges with this, because as we know, flupiram is not technically strong on anthracnose, and major contributor will be the difenoconazole. But because of this ratio, we have to increase the rate of flupiram, which again will raise a question about the commercial feasibility. So considering this, we need to really strategize that how we want to really position this, considering the ratio of 2:1. And before taking all this decision, let's understand the technical performance, and then we will be really concluding that how we should really position this, whether we should go with only powder bubbly segment or also we need the solution for anthracnose.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, over to you. Sorry for the long talk, but
yeah,
it's important to give the background on this project.
Yeah, it's clear, Ganesh. Thanks once again. And so we have, as you mentioned, mefentrifluconazole. Okay, so this MEZ is there, which is two formulations, 100 SC and 400 SC. You may want to talk about these formulation differences. I think one is internal, that is 100 SC is our internal one, and 400 SC is external one. And we are comparing between these formulations as well. And the solos in 4, 5 and 6, and then the 7, 8, 9, 10 are the combinations between these internal 100 SC 735 and 400 SC 735 external. Then 9 and 10 are fluparam and difenoconazole 2 dose ratios, and 11 is Luna experience and 12 is Circad is the external candidate. So here there are 4 locations that we have done, and you can see out of the 4, 3 were successful. And to share this, I think I invite Tushar for this experience.
Yeah, thanks, Prem. So here we are presenting the results of FLU and 735 in Chile against powdery mildew. So out of these
Yes.
3 locations, so here you can see. Yes, Ganesh.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe because I would have highlighted this. I just pasted this in the 735 because here you can see the 735. So the treatment number 7, or basically treatment number 2, which is BCS DH30735. This is our phase 2 candidate. That we are checking it. And DJ83735, please read this as a mefentrifluconazole. That is the candidate from BSF, third party candidate from BSF. So that's the basically difference. This is like from the core point of view, this is exactly the same last 3 GG, but this was like auto-generated process. We developed this in the past, but sorry for this confusion here. But just consider this treatment number 3 as a mefentrifluconazole if there is confusion.
Yeah, thank you, Ganesh. So here you can see the out of these 3 locations, mainly from the Maharashtra region. Okay, so you can see the untreated. Here we found a very high, medium to high pressure of the disease in untreated. And out of the treatments, when 100 SC, that is our internal, is a little superior over the 400 SC, that is mefentraconazole. And particularly when we mix with the fluopyram, these combinations, FLU plus 735 100 SC is found is at par with this 735 with this 400 SC, which is little inferior to combination of FLU DFO. Then particularly FLU DFO added at 187.5 is at par with 735 and our internal market standard, that is Luna experience. But these are all superior compared to our current market standards. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks Tushar. Basically, if you see the combinations of fluparam and difenoconazole in case of powdery mildew, Chile, these are looks like superior to slightly superior. We cannot say significant, but across these 4 application timings, I mean 2 application timings with 4 observation dates, so it looks slightly superior performance between fluparam and DH735 and DJ735. But yeah, if you compare with the Luna experience, these are at all looks like at par. And similarly, in the tomato against early blight, this is one project where we have been working from past couple of years. So this time we could able to get the results clearly from Hubli, where you can see in 2 locations we have conducted and 1 location data only we have currently. So let's see the indications from Nilesh.
Yeah, thanks, Prem. So regarding the FLU DFO on early blight of tomato, here we can see that in untreated at 21 days after B application, approximately 40% CVT was there. Under this situation, FLU plus DFO 225 to 300 GI per hectare recorded excellent efficacy, and which was found at par with the market standard Custodia and Luna experience and slightly superior over M-Starto. If we see fluparam and score, so we can say around 80% efficacy we have observed, and score is difenoconazole is slightly superior over fluparam. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Nilesh. Here in this case, slightly fluparam difenoconazole
at 225 gram AI is consistent over 150 gram AI as well. So there is not much difference, especially in the 14 days. It is breaking. The efficacy was breaking as compared to 225, which was slightly superior when you see at a little later stage as well. So depending upon the customer requirement, probably we can play between this range of 150 to 225 gram AI. And similarly, this same project was conducted in grape as well. So in case of grape, again, we have compared between MEZ and also our internal 735, like we have done in another crop. So here again in Maharashtra and again in Karnataka, we have conducted this study. So maybe Vinayaka probably can share his experience on this project.
Yeah, thanks Prem for briefing the treatments. So in untreated here we can see two trends coming. One is the disease severity almost escalating to 45-50%, and another at the range of medium disease severity. Disease severity of powdery mildew like 20-25% on an average. So here, as Ganesh mentioned, we have 735 100 SC and also mefentriconazole 400 SC. So 100 SC of 735 is clearly coming out better than the 400 SC of mefentriconazole, and this similar trend is even continuing with the mixtures as well, with fluopyram and also 735 100 SC and also fluopyram 400 SC with treatment number 7 and 8. Treatment number 7 is clearly better than treatment number 8, which is having the 400 SC of mefentriconazole. And this treatment number 7, what we have 100 SC of 735 with fluopyram mixture is comparable with fluopyram plus difenoconazole, and also the market standard Xemium, that is Circad, is recently launched, last year launched by the BASF. And also with our, we can easily compare with our Luna experience as well. So thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. In this case of grape, there is a clear differentiation we can see out of these three locations, especially between our 100 SC 735 versus 400 SC 735, and it is almost comparable with fluopyram and difenoconazole. So depending upon crop and the target, there is a recommended response out of these internal and external 735s here I can see. And again clearly in the judgment rating as well, wherever this 735 was used as internal, so it is clearly is coming at par with the fluopyram and difenoconazole. So these are some beautiful pictures from Bangalore. So you can see the untreated this one and powdery mildew, and then you can see the very clear bunches, fruit quality in case of mixtures. So finally, out of these three different crops and projects, as I mentioned, the dose range for fluopyram and difenoconazole could be between 150 to 225 gram per hectare. But if you see in case of powdery mildew, probably this is sufficient, maybe 150 or even in between 225. But anthracnose, again we need to check in case of grape as well as the chili, and we need to confirm again. Whereas if you compare with the internal 735 100 SC, the 1:1 ratio 125 plus 125 can be a competitive dose against difenoconazole. So we have to confirm again the ready mix formulation performance as a future way forward. So any views, Ganesh, on this, or can we go to the next?
Yeah. So thank you, Frame. I think this is also really helpful. All the trials which we have seen, which showing the clear trend of why we opt for difenoconazole, because as we have seen mefentrifluconazole, it's not really performing to the level, to the expectation actually, that we were checking that whether this could be an option for us. The second point is, in case of grape, dose rate is quite clear. Anyhow, considering the stewardship guideline, we cannot really cross the 150, beyond 150 gram AI, which is like 100 plus 50 gram AI total of FLUDFO. So considering this, I think this dose would be sufficient for powdery mildew, but anthracnose still it is questionable. So I think technically I think it is out of scope, but still we can give a try like what Yogesh mentioned last time. This is also a popping issue in grape nowadays, the grape anthracnose. So we can try with that. Regarding the dose rate in other crop like chili, because right now these are the two focus crop for this project, and let's stick to these two crop at the moment, because this is like a solution that we are right now focusing for the trade risk crop, not like exploring all other crops. So in case of chili, as I understood, like this is equally important, powdery mildew and anthracnose, because sometimes it's also a mixed infestation. But commercial feasibility point of view, one point is very clear. 300 gram air of this mixture, it is out of scope, which is like 200 plus 100. So we have to restrict ourselves maybe max with 225 gram air, which is around 150 plus
75.
175. So with that range, we can check the possibility that how is the performance against anthracnose, and if we see really that can contribute, then we can really move ahead with that. Otherwise, then we need to decide that we can just position this for the powdery mildew segment. So this is still not the conclusion, but this is the directives that we can develop, because of this ratio we see there is a lot of challenges with this, and we see this as an interim solution, because we will also have maybe in 2 to 3 years timeline we will be developing our phase 2 candidate 735. So of course this will be also in the same crops and segment. So that will be the desired solution. Yes, Yogesh.
So Ganesh and Prem, I think one point is that from the stewardship perspective, whether we go for anthracnose for label, that is one decision we need to take, and that's very clear. If it is from stewardship point of view, we may not go for then the label part. But Prem, I think it will be good to have our understanding at what dose it's working for anthracnose, even though we are not going, let's say, for the label. What is the dose which is giving anthracnose control? That will be good information for us to have at our level.
Yeah, sure. As action plan, we already taking it up in the next season, Yogesh. So definitely we can look into it. Whereas one question to Ganesh. So Ganesh, this Fluparam and DH735 ready mix, can we expect next season? Or
no, this is like still a proof of concept, because 735 solo formulation itself is not finalized. So first it will be like finalizing the formulation, and then they will be developing the mixture. So that's why we see the timeline difference, and this will be like the solution maybe with a timeline of 4 to 5 years after FLUDFO.
Okay.
Ganesh, one question, that one. This is only 1:1 ratio that is finalized, right? Any other
which one?
available?
Which one?
With difenoconazole.
Fluparam difenoconazole?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 2:1 ratio.
2:1 ratio.
Yeah. And that's the bottleneck we see compared to our existing Luna.
Yeah, I know that one, but we are looking into the trials presented today. Actually, the Vazole is driving the efficacy of powdery mildew. If we increase the dose, that's what any other ratio is available, this is already fixed.
No, this is already like developed formulation from global, because they were mainly focusing on powdery and alternaria. So as we know, technically Fluparam can contribute for powdery and alternaria both. And with like this addition of DFO, this will be like more of a techno-commercial solution to offer in that segment. But now, as we also pick this as a solution for us to mitigate the TPZ risk, which we see right now. But maybe this is fitting into the powdery mildew and alternaria, but maybe anthracnose still this is questionable. So we are trying maybe.
See, flu also the solo, we know that the Luna sensation, even our market development trials also, it's not so effective against the powdery mildew. But wherever the combinations of like Luna experience, where the Vazole combination is there, then the efficacy is very good. So basically powdery mildew, Vazoles are driving. That is very clearly the trend is reflecting here, we see our trials. The Vazole is driving the efficacy. That's what asking the question. Otherwise, it's of course compared to a little bit better than your standards. Performing the ozole combination is doing a good job here. But if it is a little more of an ozole ratio, could have been helped to actually overcome all the market standards.
Yes, so in case of grape, I think this is still challenging because this is the stewardship guideline, we cannot really exceed 100 of FLU. But in case of chili, of course, there is a scope that 150, like we planned 150 plus 75, which is total 225 gram. Yeah. So I think that makes sense here. Because if you see the DFO dose currently with the existing azoxystrobin, I think still it is lower than 75 gram. Yeah. So I think still in case of this mixture, we are keeping on higher side. So for the
this ready mixture, we are increasing the dose, price also will increase, unnecessarily loading of the fluid. That's
yeah. So that's why total 300 gram A of this mixture, it is out of scope. So maximum we can consider up to 25 gram A.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Thanks. That's a very good discussion, I would say. And it is required. And Yogesh, as discussed yesterday, probably we need to sit with Nilesh and yourself and all of us to make sure what should be our next steps in coming season onwards. We already initiated this, registration trial this season with this, of course, revised guidance from the quick scan reports as well. And we need to take it forward for the next level discussions of this. Fluparum and difenoconazole with the comparison with the other azoles, including 735 internal and external. In mango also we have tried, where with the same protocol, including fluparum and difenoconazole and Luna experience and Sarcadis as external. So here again Karnataka and in UP we have conducted this study, and this is against the anthracnose. And probably I would request, because of the time interest, probably I will take you through this. So here also again, one more time, our internal 100 SC was relatively better than the 400 SC formulation, and again the combinations of fluparum and 100 SC 735 are better than fluparum and 400 SC 735. And in this case, these are slightly inferior. If you see the treatment number 9 at the consistency, so it is a very good consistency with fluparum and difenoconazole, especially at 14 DAB and 7 DAC, as compared to 735 here. And in case of mango, again, Luna experience actually have better efficacy as compared to the but looking at the market standard, definitely our treatments, all of our treatments are comparatively better. So this is coming from Karnataka location. And so similarly, powdery mildew, again the similar, again 100 SC was better than 400 SC here, and the mixtures, tank mix mixtures of 100 SC with fluparum are better than the 400 SC tank mixtures. And these are all, again, in case of powdery, again, these are at par as compared to fluparum difenoconazole. Whereas with the anthracnose, it was little inferior to fluparum difenoconazole. Whereas for the powdery, it is coming at par with fluparum difenoconazole. So this can be, confirmed in the next upcoming trials as well, with more and more clear, trials, I would say. But we have a superior chemistry as compared to the Xemium or the market standard. So in this case again, Luna experience is also coming at par for powdery mildew. That's why we need to be note here.
Prem?
Yeah.
Prem, just one question regarding this treatment 9 and 10, same was in Chile also. The two doses we are testing, which is such a high variation, double the dose. Any particular reason?
Yeah, maybe Ganesh can add, Ganesh.
Yogesh, yes, sure. Yogesh, this is like our earlier set of protocol where we were trying to understand the dose response, sorry, not the dose response, but basically the comparison of different DMI. You can see here 125 gram of all DMI here from treatment number 2 to 5, and similar in the mixture. But in case of FLU-DFO, because of the 2:1 ratio, this has got increased. Because we are trying to keep the 125 of fluparum and 125 of difenoconazole there. So because of that, in FLU-DFO you see this is 125 of fluparum and with the treatment number 9, and treatment number 10 this is 125 of difenoconazole. So that's why this was the like huge variation between 9 and 10. So this was like just to apple compare the 125 gram A of FLU and difenoconazole. That was the idea basically. But afterward we revised that we see the dose rate which is in range of 150 to 225. That's our normal dose rate now. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, probably in case of mango, that's what Yogesh, your answer is here actually. We are not going to 375, but fluparum difenoconazole 187.5 can be one a recommendation where it is sufficient also, and we can even look at 150 gram in this case, and fluparum and DH735 at 1:1 ratio 125 plus 125 can be also checked again in NH23. So this is about the fluparum difenoconazole. Probably I will take through the next project on trifloxystrobin flint on the rice 30 panicle. So we are going into the rice crop now. Yeah, over to you Ganesh on this project background.
Yeah, sure. So in case of solo trifloxystrobin, like many of us we know, this is the small holder initiative, basically the depot differentiated portfolio to offer in the mid-tier segment, and we are targeting here the trifloxystrobin against the dirty panicle. But the overall rationale for this project is not to go with the dose rate which we have with the existing formulations like Nativo and Luna Sensation. But the idea here is to go with the optimum dose which is like more commercially feasible and match with the practice where farmer they go for mixing of 2 to 3 fungicides at the farmer level and then offer this solution in the same segment. So this is basically the idea or background for this project, and we are trying to really check this with that dose range which we consider like between 60 to 90 gram AI, but not like the dose rate which we have in the existing formulation. So that's why we are not really crossing beyond 100 gram AI. So that's the basic background for this project, and let's also see how is the performance, because there was some questions also related to the regulatory, whether this dose would be sufficient to meet the regulatory hurdle, like minimum 75% of efficacy. But I think with the previous season we have seen still good performance with other crops, but let's see also how is the performance in rice. Yes, Prem, over to you.
Yeah, yeah. So the technical profile of this product, as you already mentioned, so this is a smallholder initiative for the APAC, and we want to achieve as a cost-effective broad spectrum offer to the growers. And you can see the wide range of crops here, including fruits and vegetables and also rice. And as Ganesh mentioned, it has a very good spectrum like powdery, anthracnose, alternaria and dirty panicle. So the core formulation is SC50 here, and as already briefed by Ganesh, let's look into the rice dirty panicle, how it is comparable with the existing market standard, that is amistertop and also cresoxymethyl, that is widely used by farmers under the low cost segment. So this particular one also virtual visit also actually. And here you can see there are 3 doses of trifloxy, which is 60, 75 and 90 gram, and 2 doses of azoxystrobin, 60 and 75. and we can compare and see which one is better. So as you see, there are two applications as per the protocol. So we have two locations. One location in Telangana where one application has been carried out due to the prevailing climate conditions and all, whereas in case of Uttarakhand we have two sprays. So let's hear from these two colleagues how actually the performance of this product in case of one application and also two applications. First we will hear from one location, one spray from Yogesh.
Thanks, Prem. Hi, good evening. So if you see the trial results from the Telangana location, where we can clearly see the infestation of dirty panicle. So as mentioned by Prem, so this is a smallholder molecule where actually a farmer used to go for one round of application for the grain health, especially the grain quality. So where we can see the infestation almost 40 to 50% infestation of the dirty panicle was there in trial field. So we have given the application at the time of panicle initiation, after panicle just come out. So in that condition we can clearly see the 90 gram of flint, so trifloxystrobin 500 SC was giving excellent control if you compare with any of the other market standard like SAF or this one, even Amistar 75 gram AI. So if we compare between these two, then we have a clear edge with 90 gram of trifloxystrobin. And one more thing is that, so the grain quality as shining we used to say, so which is we can significantly observe in case of trifloxystrobin, even in 75 gram AI also, 90 gram AI also, which was well seen in the VFT as well. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Yogi. Only question to you is, if you compare treatment number 3 and treatment number 6,
yeah.
So as per the data, it is 6 is better than 3.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, if we see treatment number 3, which is 75 gram of flint, both are the strobinols, but we have clearly seen that the slight drop of trifloxy in case of dirty panicle case in this trial.
Okay. So let's hear from two applications case. Of course.
Maybe.
Yeah, Ganesh.
Just one more like point only, not the question. Like we see this in the VFT, and we are further investigating also like on the qualitative parameters, right?
Right. Yes.
The grain, chaffy grains and the healthy grains versus also the yield from the different treatment.
Yes, Ganesh.
Yeah, Ganesh.
Because that will be again further contributing to see the real performance there versus the competition.
Yes.
Can we check the 5% panicle emergence stage as well? I feel that is the right stage for the dirty panicle.
So actually this, as I mentioned, just panicle initiation time. So that was 5 to 10% panicle initiation stage. So which majorly.
I am talking about the right time of application. What I feel is 5% emergence of panicle is the right time, because the infestation happens when the panicle is emerging. That is the time of infestation for dirty panicle. So we can check that one, the different timing of application, and that is helping to improve the efficacy or not.
Yeah.
Now we hear from two application case from UP.
Yeah. So thank you, Prem. So in case of two application also, as per the protocol, we have given the first application at full tilting stage and the second application at the time of panicle initiation, and even in the two application scenario, this trifloxystrobin at 90 gram AI was clearly better than azoxy 75 gram AI, and also the value that is added to farmer in terms of quality grain and more grain filling was clearly demonstrated in VFT also. So that's all from my side.
Okay. So the next visuals actually you want to also look at 21 days after second location.
you may want to explain this. Basically, the untreated fully having soft grains, and how is the difference in case of grain filling?
Yeah. So what we have seen in case of untreated, we have seen 100% incidence there of dirty panicle, or at least 80% severity was there. So in that scenario, complete panicle was like a chuffy. So there was at least reduction in at least 80% to 90% reduction in grain filling in case of untreated. While in case of treatment, we see that comparably very good grain filling and better shining and better healthy grain has been seen in case of the different treatments. So here also you can see that there was a clear difference between the untreated and the 75 gram AI and then 90 gram AI. It was at par with the 90 gram AI, sorry, 75 gram AI M star.
Okay, thank you. And we are going to collect the yield also out of this.
Yeah, we are going to collect harvesting as
other grain parameters and.
Yeah, thank you.
So maybe I will invite Karan here for the drone applications, and I think Mayank. Mayank. Okay, I think so. These are all the projects for disease management for today. We hear from Karan about Infinito project in drones. Hello. Okay. Just I would like to change my laptop.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Prem?
Ganesh, yes.
So you mean this is all for disease management conclude, right?
Yes, Ganesh. Yeah. In fact, one more project. Yeah, we couldn't do now, but probably annual development conference.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Probably this gives you some information on what's happening here, and look forward to have a furthermore productive and successful season ahead in coming dry season for disease management as well as the other indications.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Prem and team, all the colleagues actually for great insights on the disease management project. I think many of the projects concluded very well, and I can also understand the situation here, like your role of between weed management and disease management. But in spite of that, you well concluded on all the projects. So this is really great team effort. Thank you very much, all the team.
Thanks, Ganesh. And it's all credit goes to team. Yeah. And here we faced a lot of challenge, but really looking forward for this data. Thanks everyone on the in the room as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, just please don't go away. We have one session for drone.
Here, no? No. Hope my screen is visible to online audience. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So now this is very important session because we have seen the trial result with the traditional application method. You know that how the drone technology is gaining momentum. We will see how Infinito is performing against one of the major disease of potato, late blight. So these are the treatments which we have, this is the first trial of fungicide which we have done in potato actually with the drone technology. So you can see the treatments, second, third, fourth, these are the Infinito with the drone technology. This is the manual application. This trial was conducted in 2 locations in Bangalore, one in Innovation Hub and another surrounding areas of Bangalore. And I would like to thank Vinayaka and Priyanka for conducting this trial. So you can see the drone here, and here we have taken basically 2x dose also Infinito. Because of the regulatory perspective, we need to understand how this 2x dose rate in terms of the selectivity part. But there is no any selectivity issue observed with the Infinito 2x dose rate. You can clearly see the droplet distribution is very clear. And these are the flight parameter. Let's see how the drone flying in potato. Sound? Huh? And? So it's a very exciting technology. Now I would like to invite Vinayaka to understand the performance of Infinito.